February feels like a lifetime ago. 8 months, 32 races. 250 days of asphalt and adrenaline since engines first screamed awake beneath the lights of Daytona. The seasons? Yeah, they spun like tires on hot pavement. Winter to spring, spring to summer, summer to fall. But 4 drivers never blinked. 4 hearts kept the throttle pinned, determined, undeterred. The 71 came out the gate throwing punches in the cold, a modern-day Tim Flock with a northern edge, dancing through corners like the track was his living room. He wasn't handed trophies, nah, he took them, earned every mile, every mark, every moment. Then came the 84, quiet in the shadows, waiting his turn like a wolf in the weeds. But when the air warmed, he lit the season on fire. 7 wins. 7 tracks bowed like steel under a torch. Short tracks, super speedways, even Darlington, the lady in black herself. She tried to hold him, but he left her in smoke. Respect? He didn't ask for it. He demanded it, and got it. Now the 27. He don't talk much. Lets the lap times do the preaching. Found peace in the grind, in the hum of the engine, in the rhythm of Charlotte's twin hearts. The oval, the rover, patient as a craftsman. He shaped his season like steel under pressure. Quiet power, steady hands, the kind of driver who wins you over one finish at a time. And the 8, Mr. Consistency. 2 wins, but don't get it twisted. He's a time bomb with perfect timing. He waits for the moment when chaos spills into the corners, when others lose grip, and he slides through calm, smooth, relentless. Tonight, the storm's coming, and he's already smiling through the rain. 4 men, 4 stories carved in speed and sweat, each chasing more than metal, each reaching for something eternal. See, in NASCAR, a champion ain't crowned, he's forged. Forged in summer heat, in the ache of travel, in the heartbreak of almost. He's built out of willpower, stitched together with stubbornness and sweat. Petty, Earnhardt, Johnson, Jarrett, legends whose names hum through the hallways of history. And tonight, under the lights of Miami, one more name joins the chorus. 4 drivers line up. 3 will fall short. 1 will rise. 1 race, 4 drivers, 1 champion.
It's Thursday. It's time for Mystic Racing League action. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot TV booth. Tonight, we are bringing you live racing action for the final time of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs. It's the championship finale live from Miami. 4 drivers, 32 races of sweat, strategy, and survival have led them here. The 71, the 84, the 27, and the 8 each forged through victory, heartbreak, and willpower alone. Tonight, under the Florida lights, they'll fight not just for a win, but for a championship. 1 race to define a season, 1 race to define a career, 1 race to crown a champion. The Homestead-Miami Speedway owes its existence to a natural disaster. Building the circuit was a key part of plans to help the city of Homestead rebound after the devastation caused by Hurricane Andrew back in 1992. The new facility was a colorful addition to the racing scene back then, thanks to its brightly painted buildings with walls which mirrored the aqua, purple, and silver Art Deco style of old Miami. But there was a significant problem. The racing honestly wasn't that good. The Indianapolis-style 4-cornered layout didn't scale well down to Homestead's smaller size. Instead, the sharp, flat turns and aprons made passing actually very difficult, and it lowered the overall speed of these cars. Engineers had to scramble to reconfigure the flat track to a more oval-like layout. But that wouldn't be enough to take the racing to the next level. Back in 2003, the second major rebuilding program of the oval course began, with a $12 million rebanking project that transformed the track from a flat 6 degrees to a computer-designed 18 to 20 degree variable banking system in the turns. That reprofile turned the track into an iconic marker on the NASCAR schedule where the bravest can rip that wall at nearly 200 miles an hour, just inches away from concrete and steel. Chris, fun fact, I know you probably heard it 1,000 times, but there are over 1,000 palm trees on the grounds of this speedway. But tonight, there are only 4 drivers that can win that Fall Creek Plumbing National Series Championship. We've been racing for 32 weeks, and it all comes down to one single night. How are they going to outlast the rest of the competition out here to claim that career-changing victory?
Well, they're going to have to outrace the competition on arguably the most competitive track on the NASCAR circuit. Homestead-Miami is known for multi-lane racing and 3-wide action, and tonight will be no different with the added layer of everything being on the line, the championship. We got 200 laps, a longer race than we typically see here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, and 100% of the fuel tank is available to these drivers tonight. 6 sets of tires in the pit, stage brakes at lap 45 and at lap 90 with a quick repair in your back pocket. Slide jobs will be utilized on this worn out surface early and often tonight, Ellis. Which driver will find themselves in victory lane and hoisting that championship trophy at the end of the night? We're going to find out together.
While that championship is the biggest story tonight, we've got several others that we're going to queue up for the fans watching at home on YouTube in just a few minutes. But before we get there, folks, it is time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition here at Slingshot TV. Folks, rise and remove those caps if able for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back. Back here in Miami for Championship Thursday for Mystic Racing League and the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, folks. We got some stories to cover, the biggest one being the title fight. 4 drivers have a chance to win it tonight. The highest one of these 4 you see on the screen right now is going to be your 2025 Fall Creek Plumbing National Series champion. It's going to be Cochran, Barnes, Holston, and Janik. We talk about Evan Janik, just 22 years old. These are young drivers. Jacob Cochran, 27. Christian Barnes, 20. And Adam Holston, 22. Last night, Christian Barnes won and clinched the Black Diamond Designs Truck Series Championship, becoming the only 4-time champion in Mystic Racing League history. Chris, does that give him an edge, or do you have your eye on someone else tonight?
I think that it definitely gives him an advantage. I think he's peaking at the right time, Ellis. Coming off the win at the Roval, the win at Talladega. He's definitely getting hot at the right time. But I think arguably the hottest driver in the playoffs so far in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series has been Jacob Cochran. I think many people probably view him as the championship favorite. Evan Janik has been fast all in the regular season, but Cochran has stepped it up here in the postseason. And Adam Holston, he's probably seen as the underdog right here, but he's got just as good of a shot as anybody to get it done tonight.
So we're going to be keeping on our eyes on all 4 of those drivers. Obviously, there's more drivers in the field we'll be talking about. All of them will have to be contending with the things we're about to talk about. The first one being the sun's going to go down in just a little bit. It's already started to set, as you can see. And with night, likely it's going to mean more grip for these race cars. Chris, what does that mean for the drivers inside these cockpits?
Well, as I heard all throughout practice that these drivers were struggling with loose conditions out there, that they would have to be very, very, easy on that throttle. And with the nighttime comes a little bit more confidence. Some of that grip that gets put back in the track gets put back in these cars. And Homestead-Miami Speedway, you're going to see it tonight, is a multi-lane racetrack, Ellis. And I think that as the nighttime begins, you're going to see more drivers feel more confident about going up there towards the wall, especially in turns 1 and 2. But I think we'll see it on both ends of the track. Drivers all the way up on the wall searching for more and more grip on this old wore-out surface.
You mentioned it, the wall. How dangerous is it? Risk versus reward when drivers try to go to the very top just inches away from that safer barrier. Is there speed to be found?
There definitely is speed to be found. The trick is, not staying up there too long to where you're going to burn up your tires, but also, Ellis, just being comfortable with being up there on the wall. The safer barrier up there at, on the walls right here at Homestead-Miami Speedway is also really tricky because once you hit it, it kind of just pulls you in. It kind of, whips the car back around, and sometimes you can get stuck on that wall compared to some other tracks. So it's a difficult wall to try to run, but it's also very, very advantageous for those brave drivers.
And they're going to be ripping that wall at high speeds. We've talked to drivers in pre-race, Chris, and they shared with you that these race cars are handling pretty loose tonight. That might change as the sun goes down, but right now, what does that mean for tire saving? What are drivers going to have to be careful about tonight on those Goodyear rubbers?
Yeah, they're just going to be really careful early on, and try to keep the car as straight as you possibly can on corner exit. We're going to see a multitude of different lines here. Some drivers choosing to run the wall and some drivers choosing to go down low. And sometimes that line that you run will affect, which tires are wearing quicker than others. So if you have a loose condition, you might change your lineup to run the top. And likewise, if you are getting tight, you might decide to run down towards the bottom and vice versa, just depending on what your car needs.
And particularly, all 4 of the championship drivers are going to have to look at that last bullet point as the most important. Execute, execute, execute. Chris, how easy is it to make a mistake here over the course of 200 laps?
Yeah, it's a lot of laps, which means a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. These drivers are all very good, but yeah, we know that they've got a difficult task ahead of them. And this is a track right here, Ellis, where you have to be so patient on the throttle, and sometimes that patience right there can wear thin on drivers over the course of 200 laps.
Speaking of 200 laps, we're not going to have to wait long. Qualifying has just come to a close. We're going to look at the starting lineup in just a moment. But before we do that, folks, we appreciate you tuning in. If you've already tuned in, go ahead, let us know in the chat who you're rooting for tonight. We are giving away a Juan Pablo Montoya 1/24th scale diecast, not the small guy, the big guys, his 2009 Target paint scheme. Sorry, folks, jet dryer is not included in this one. But you can score points in the chat by simply commenting. We're going to play some games and some trivia. If you send a friend and they let us know that you sent them, we'll add some points onto your name in the scoreboard. And the fan with the most points at the end of the night is going to take home that diecast. We'll guide you all through the night as to how you can accrue points. Now, let's get to it. The starting grid for the final championship finale here at Miami. And on your pole, it's Christian Barnes in that number 27 machine. He's not going to have far to come from tonight if he's going to become the next champion. Jacob Cochran, another Final Four driver to his outside in that number 84. The driver from Georgia is going to look to come from second tonight. Brad T. Nelson with his best qualifying starting of the year, going to be third in that number 33, with Rayshawn Winkfield coming from fourth in that number 23 machine. Watch him, he's going to have some speed. Gavin Henson, I know it's disappointing for driver number 39 not to be in the championship 4, but he's looking for bragging rights tonight and to be the upset and spoiler in that number 39. He's starting 5th. Tyler Stevenson in the 98 is going to be starting to his outside in that number 98, with Michael Wade starting 7th in the number 3. Evan Janik, another championship 4, has his work cut out for him. He's going to have to come from the outside of row 4. Janik starts 8th. And meanwhile, Adam Holston in the number 8, the final of the final 4 drivers, is going to be coming from 9th. So all 4 of the championship 4 drivers starting in the top 10. And with that, that's a driver we're going to try to grab a word with. Let's see if we can't grab Adam Holston for just a moment and bring him into the booth. Adam Holston, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, we've been talking to folks all week. There's been a lot of pop and circumstance as we've gone through championship week here at Miami. A lot of people are considering you the underdog, maybe even yourself. You talked about it last week. What kind of shot do you give yourself tonight? What's it going to take to get the job done and be the top of those championship 4?
I mean, I think it's going to take a lot of tire saving. It's really slick out here, so it's got to keep the tires under me and stay out of trouble and maybe be there at the end.
Chris, you got any questions for Adam?
Just Adam, you said last week that you're just going to have to show them what you're all about this week. What's the attitude and what's the mindset right here tonight? Do you have a lot of confidence coming into this race right here that you can find yourself hoisting that championship trophy at the end of the night?
Yeah, it felt pretty good in practice. I definitely have a lot of confidence going into this. I got a 2nd place finish in the trucks last night, so it's a lot of confidence going into this, yeah.
All right, well, we are excited to watch you as well as your other final 4 competitors. Good luck out there. We'll throw you back into 5 Star Racing's Discord.
Great, thank you.
All right, so you heard it there. Adam Holston says it's going to take a lot to get the job done tonight, but he's not counting himself out, and you shouldn't either. You can see the rest of the starting grid had previously scrolled across the screen. Right now, Chris, if you're talking to any of these drivers, whether it's the Championship 4 or the other 25 drivers we have out on the track tonight, what are you telling them if you're the crew chief on top of that box with a half a lap before the green flag?
Long race ahead of you right here. 200 laps around Homestead. That's 300 miles. That's like the real-life Xfinity Series distance right there. In the season finale that they run here at Homestead-Miami in past years. I'm gonna tell them to take it nice and easy here in the opening laps, Ellis. This race is gonna start in the twilight and end under the lights. So these track conditions are going to be very, very different from the beginning of the race to the end of the race, Ellis.
It's going to be a true test of skill all the way around. It's been 32 races, and it's all leading up to this championship finale. The pace car makes that hard left turn for the final time tonight to give us the first green flag. It's out in Miami. The season finale is underway. Jacob Cochran and Christian Barnes sail it down into turn 1. 2 of the final 4 side by side. The rest of the field is 2 wide, 10 deep.
Yeah, and meanwhile, we've got a side-by-side racing going on right here. These front drivers trying to get away a little bit. Barnes and Cochran. Oh, we got one car spinning to the inside here. Several cars around.
White. Looks like another car. Aaron Espy and Keith Twine also might have been caught in that melee down the backstretch. Long night, but we are under caution for the first time this evening. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened.
We're going to go back right here to see if we can figure out what happened. There's Zach White. He's the first car I saw around, Ellis. First car I saw sideways. He's got Trevor Hunt right behind him. And I can't tell if there's some contact between the two of them. Might have been hard hit into that inside wall for Trevor Hunt. There goes, I'm sorry, no, that was Zach White, excuse me. Trevor Hunt and Aaron Espy spinning sideways right there. Also kind of caught up in the aftermath right there. We're focused on Aaron Espy right here. Yes, and I think Trevor Hunt was reacting possibly to the situation that he saw in front of him right there and collected Aaron Espy. But all these drivers, Ellis, have quick repairs.
I was about to say, they've all got quick repairs. It's going to be okay if you're one of their fans. Hey, we got some folks in the chat already. Connor Lyons in the chat. We got Leslie in the chat rooting on Adam Holston. Holston Racing in the chat rooting on Adam. We got Emily S. Hey, Emily, we never heard from you last week. I'm entering our email in the chat right now. It's ssracingleagues@gmail.com. We owe you a diecast. Send us your information so we can get that out to you as we work the first caution of the evening. We also got Ricky LaFleur, funny guy Ricky LaFleur, saying he's selling Caleb Hunt t-shirts half off in the parking lot. Yeah. I'm curious, though, about Ricky. He's got beef with Christian Barnes. I'm curious what that beef is as we watch a couple of cars come down pit road here. Maybe Ricky can shed some light on that. We watched some of the cars that were involved in that first incident of the evening. Emily, if you don't mind sending us again, just in case I did not get it, but maybe a second email will make its way through. Yeah, Chris, any benefit to coming here early if you were not involved in that first crash on lap 1?
Well, there's a lot of tires in the pits, but I would think I would save them for possibly later on once, we get some more green flag racing right here. You never know how the rest of this race is going to transpire. So I think most of these drivers are going to decide to hold on to the Millis.
All right, well, we're working the first caution of the evening. Let's check out where the championship for our Christian Barnes is your leader. You've got to go to second, only to second, to find Jacob Cochran, who is in second. Evan Janik has worked his way from 8th all the way up to 6th, Chris, with Adam Holston actually losing a spot on that start. So still all 4 of your championship drivers in the top 10. Christian Barnes, let's talk about Christian Barnes in that number 27, one of the underdogs maybe for this evening. We watched the drivers take the choose rule. No surprise, Barnes goes to the inside with Jacob Cochran electing to take that outside. Christian's from Atacosa, Texas, and he's one of the winningest drivers, and he's won four titles in the Mystic Racing League. Only driver in their history to do that. Just yesterday, he was crowned the Truck Series champion and second best average finish among 4 playoff drivers. So despite us feeling like he's an underdog, he's actually looking pretty good. Chris, back in 8th position, Evan Janik, I was surprised by this stat. Janik hasn't won in the playoffs yet.
Yeah, he hasn't. It's just been, and he's had some speed in some of these races. It's just, also had a lot of misfortune, caught up in some early crashes. And, it's been a very unfortunate playoff run for him. But, all of his regular season success that he's had has put him in position right here, Ellis, to, despite his poor runs in the playoffs, he finds himself right here battling for a championship. Just speaks to that regular season dominance we saw out of Evan Janik earlier this year.
Absolutely. It padded his points lead, and the regular season champion prevailed. We'll see if he can do the same tonight. Pace car pulls off. We're racing once again here in Miami. Christian Barnes gets away cleanly. The battle appears to be between Jacob Cochran and Brad T. Nelson for the second position. Cochran sails it up the banking, up high down into turn 1. Brad Nelson works the inside.
Yeah, and we've got Brad Nelson looking to the inside. He is one of those drivers, Ellis, who's not necessarily racing for the championship, but he wants to put himself up in the mix of this thing. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead. Jacob Cochran trying to take that momentum and go to the inside of Christian Barnes right here. Got to be real careful down there on the inside. Barnes is giving him plenty of room right here as they exit turn 4 right here. And it's a drag race off the corner. Put Barnes still to the front of this thing.
That outside line prevails into turn 1. Christian Barnes thinks better of it, puts it up about a lane up the racetrack to the right. Jacob Cochran works the inside once again. They're trying to make it more laps than they did under the first green flag. We are now 2 laps into this run, so consider that mission a success. Now Brad T. Nelson draws the back bumper of Jacob Cochran, who maybe got into turn number 3 a little bit gingerly that time.
Yeah, we got some drivers maybe who have some different mentalities than the others right here. Jacob Cochran is a driver who we've seen be very fast on the long run this season, Ellis. I'm not surprised at all to see him backing up his corner issue right here. I'm also not surprised at all to see him be one of the drivers to be a bottom feeder. And we got a lot of 3-wide action back here deep in the field right here. These drivers are not taking it easy at all.
No, this is some of the most intense racing going on the track right now. You can see several cars dipping low. I believe that's the number 30 of Seth Heyman, who swung it down to the inside. Derek Jewett, you saw climb the track. Jewett's in trouble up at the top of the racetrack. Heyman and Holston going to try to work their way by on the inside. Jewett just missed the playoffs last week, the Final Four, I should say. Still racing for that win, though, tonight here in Florida. In fact, last time we visited Florida, I believe Derek Jewett was your winner at Daytona in that number 45. So keep an eye on that driver. One car down low, that's the 23 of Rayshawn Wingfield. Swings it back up to the top of the track. Into turn 3 they go.
Yeah, Michael Wade trying to squeeze between Rayshawn Wingfield and the wall, and he's actually going to tag the wall right there. Wingfield slid up in front of the number 3 machine, and Michael Wade had that air taken off the nose of his Chevrolet.
Janik and Wade, heavy contact for a Final Four contender. Can they save it? We're still under green flag conditions. Holston, contact with another driver up the track. We're still green.
Yeah, we are still green right there, and that's actually, I think, going to be a break possibly for Evan Janik, because I'm not sure if the trouble for that caution right there might have been placed on him. We got a replay of it right here, Johnny. We might be able to go back and see what happened between the two of them.
Got a little bit of momentum right now. Jacob Cochran is your leader on lap number 10 of 200 in the season finale for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp here in the Slingshot TV booth. Folks, if you are watching at home, we got a lot of action going on the track, but we got a lot of action going on in the YouTube chat right now. Daytona saying they love to see Barnes go back-to-back, but they want to see Gavin Henson in victory lane. I think that would be a popular victory all along the pit road tonight if Gavin Henson could get his first victory of the season here in the finale, riding on board with Evan Janik here, looking underneath the 30 of Seth Heyman. And yeah, you mentioned it, Chris, that might have been a break for Evan Janik in that number 71. Had that caution come out, I think it would have been a high likelihood that our race director, John Ullman, would have thrown an EOL penalty for the 71. But hey, accidents happen. You're racing for a championship. It's all clean and green. And we watch Adam Holston working his way now under Seth Heyman, I believe, in that number 30. That is Holston in the number 8. So currently your championship for our 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 10th. That is your championship for in the chat right now. Let us know who you're rooting for to win the race and the championship, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. It's absolutely free. It's the best way you can support this channel.
Yeah, and Ellis says we're watching these drivers right here. The number 8 of Adam Holston battling side by side with Colin Bollinger. Bollinger showed a lot of speed in practice right there in that number 53 machine. Adam Holston tried to work the inside of him right here. This is a battle going on around the 10th spot. Bollinger's going to take that momentum from the top side right there and work his way underneath Seth Heyman, looking to move up into the 9th spot.
Now, Chris, one of the things we had talked about last week, and we've kind of discussed over the course of this 7-race playoff, a lot of drivers on the track tonight, we're not used to seeing them on a regular basis. Now, Colin Bollinger is a proven winner. Contact right behind those drivers. That was Caleb Hunt and Seth Heyman. You saw the contact there live on camera. They both gather it back up. But back to what we were talking about, several drivers that you're not used to seeing out here on a regular basis. How difficult is that if you're one of those Final Four playoff drivers trying to race around drivers that might very well be great drivers and clean drivers? You're just not used to seeing them on track, and vice versa. If you're one of those non-regular, even non-playoff drivers, does that change how you race the Final Four?
It's hard for me to say. I can only think myself racing championship contenders in the past. And I would say it does change. I've always tried to be mindful of those drivers when I'm on the track. You still have a job to do. You still got to go out here and race hard and, try to, get the win for your team, and all your supporters as well. And for yourself, in the final season championship standings here. You're definitely mindful of that. You're mindful of what they're racing for, and maybe you give them a slight bit more room than what you typically do on the, on a typical race weekend.
Talking about room being given, look at Brad Nelson right in that back of the shot, climbing the track. We're now 3 wide, and Evan Janik is on the bottom of it. That's Wingfield. Nelson, almost contact. Almost a big moment for championship contender, regular season champion Evan Janik, who boy, I think his and all of our hearts might have stopped in that moment as it looked like there was about to be an incident between the 23 and the 33. But Nelson, he's struggling right now with the handling of that car, Chris. He's lost about 3 positions in just the span of about 3 laps or less, and he's working on losing more right now. We're about 17 laps, approaching the 20-lap mark in here. Brad Nelson started near the front. I believe he started 3rd to be precise. Is tire wear starting to play a factor here with the sun still out?
Yeah, it definitely could be. Might maybe pushing a little bit too hard, too early right there. Or, likewise, he could just be, pacing himself, letting some other drivers who maybe are pushing harder than him, go up and go past him, looking to maybe not fight those positions too hard right there. Colin Bollinger down there on the inside, he's looking to complete the pass on the number 33 of Nelson. Bollinger is on the move, Ellis, up through the field right now, showing him now up to P8. And I've got him registered as starting 10th. I'm not sure if he had an EOL tonight, but no, actually, excuse me. I show him as starting 23rd, Ellis, so he's up 15 positions early on here.
15 positions early on. He is moving forward very, very quickly. That's Colin Bollinger working his way to the inside of Derek Jewett, a 2-time winner this season. Just missed the Final Four last week, but he sets his sights on another victory, but he's going to have to deal with Colin Bollinger, who has been incredibly fast in that 53 every time we have seen him in just a handful of races this season. But he picked up a win early on this season, but not running for the championship here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. We're seeing kind of a variety of approaches to this racetrack right now. It's one of the stories we talked about in pre-race. You can see Bollinger kind of with a higher entrance there, an exit, and number 45 of Derek Jewett kind of going the opposite approach down to the inside. Chris, can you do both? Will that change over the night? A driver who's running up top right now, maybe will they shift to the bottom later and vice versa?
Yeah, it definitely can, because all drivers look for their own comforts and their own tendencies here. And that's what we love about Homestead-Miami Speedway, Ellis. It's one of my favorite tracks to go to as a driver. And I think that we're going to see a lot of different approaches, a lot of different mentalities, including, early on in the run and then later in the run. We might see drivers run up high on one end of the track and down low on the other end of the track. And both approaches have their own merits. They have their own advantages, and it's hard to beat racing here at Homestead-Miami.
Absolutely hard to beat indeed. It's been a great race so far. Only one caution, 20 laps in, and the battle for the lead is heating up. Those are 2 of your championship contending drivers right now. Currently first and second, Jacob Cochran just made his way by Christian Barnes in that number 27 for the lead, and that would settle the championship right there. So if the race were to finish here on lap 22, obviously it's not. Just making sure the fans at home understand the stakes here. Out of those 4 drivers, the highest finishing one will win the championship. Let us know what driver you are rooting for tonight, what driver you think is going to win the race. In the chat, all you got to do is type exclamation point and then whatever driver number you think is going to win this race. If you think Jacob Cochran is going to win it, type in exclamation point 84. And at the end of the night, whoever wins, we will give points to the folks who picked that driver at home, and we'll add those on to the leaderboard. And boy, Christian Barnes does not want to let Jacob Cochran go, Chris. He wants to lead every lap. He wants to control this race, and he's right in the back bumper of that number 84. If you're Jacob Cochran, does that kind of put a little bit of pressure on you? Is he trying to maybe force Cochran into making a mistake?
Yeah, it definitely can put some pressure on you. Mainly, Christian Barnes, we were kind of talking about before we went on the air, Ellis. He only came into the practice session about a minute before qualifying started, so nobody really got a chance to see Christian running around the track. It's almost like he was trying to hide what he's got tonight, and he's one of the hottest drivers right now. He picked up the Truck Series Championship last night, and here he is looking really, really stout right now. And he's doing, he and Cochran both are kind of doing exactly what I think you have to do to be successful around here. They got a lot of speed rolling the bottom. I think that, there's speed up on the top, but if you can make the bottom work, Ellis, I think you're going to be tough to handle tonight.
Speaking of tough to handle, look in the back of the frame there as we watch the number 71. There's a black car in the distance that is getting bigger and bigger, and that is Evan Janik, who has clawed his way all the way up from 8th to 3rd. That number 71 is on a mission. He hasn't won in the playoffs. He was the most dominant driver, won the regular season championship, and look at the speed based on our telemetry and telemetry brought to you by Pierce Graphics. That number 71 is about 7 laps out from catching Jacob Cochran, but be careful because there's Christian Barnes making a pass for the lead under Cochran. I don't know who's going to be in the lead with Evan Janik catches these two because they're side by side down the backstretch.
Man, this is a tough pass to make if you're Christian Barnes. Jacob Cochran is pretty fast as well. You know, I think that Barnes is a little bit faster in the center of the corner on the bottom lane. But if Cochran is able to roll the top lane like he did right there in 1 and 2, this is going to be a difficult pass for Christian Barnes to make, even though he's pretty fast and he might have tagged the wall right there, but he got to the right rear and he's going to have position entering turn 1.
He forces that 84 to give him the space, and he climbs the banking, rips the wall, as we say here at Homestead. Christian Barnes is going to have a big run coming off of turn 2, but so is Evan Janik, who claws his way into the picture. New sheriff in town, Mark Christian Barnes back to the lead. But that number 23 of Rayshawn Winkfield has suddenly found rocket boosters underneath the hood of that number 23 machine. He's the fastest car on the track as he climbs his way to 3rd.
Yeah, great speed out of Rayshawn Winkfield. We've seen these flashes out of that 23 machine this season. We'll see if he can put it together right here and get to the end of this thing after, you know, some tough couple of outings that he's had in his last few races here. But he's making the top lane work. Look at that thing roll in the center of the corner on the top. He's going to have big momentum coming at Jacob Cochran right here.
He swings it to the left and tries to channel that momentum into the pass on the inside. That's Winkfield to the inside. Jacob Cochran, Markham back to 3rd. Not so fast, Cochran says. I'm racing for a championship. I'm not giving the spot to anybody. He maintains that outside line with a big run off of turn number 4. He's got Evan Janik breathing down his throat, though, down into turn number 1. The 84 climbs the banking to the outside. Will Janik try to for the 2-for-1 special here to the inside? The black and blue number 71 lurks in the distance.
Starting to see some variation in lap speeds right here, Ellis. 29 coming close to lap 30 right here in this race. A number of laps here on the tires. These drivers can go a long ways, but we are coming up to the stage break. So we're starting to see maybe some of the drivers who have done a little bit better job at preserving their tires here early on here at Homestead.
We mentioned stage number 1 ends on lap number 45. It'll be an opportunity for a reset for all drivers to come down pit road, get that Goodyear rubber, that fresh set of 4 tires on the left and right sides of these cars. They're probably screaming for it at this point, but the top 4 single file, about 5 car lengths separate the entire 4 nose to tail as they sail their way down into turn number 3. You can see Winkfield climbs the banking. He opens the door for the number 71 of Evan Janik right behind. Still a battle for 3rd position, but Winkfield is going to win out on that. The battle behind them, though, back in 9th position, we've got a great little battle brewing between Justin Hendry and Caleb Hunt. Caleb Hunt just worked his way by on the inside. Caution is out on the racetrack. Not sure what it is for. I don't see any driver having an issue right off.
That's
my
Zach
telemetry.
White in this 77. He's around right at the start-finish line. And we'll go back to see if we can find out what happened to Zach. Been a little bit of a tough go of it so far for the driver of the 77. Ran into trouble on lap 1, and he has some contact right there. I think that's with Alex Pollock in the 92. And unfortunately for Zach White, he's going to get the worst of that one right there.
Zach White already used his quick repair. Very likely he's going to have to maybe park it in the garage. We'll see if he tows it here as he sits right now. He's actually got it going again down the backstretch. So he'll get that damage repaired. And not as hard as the first shot that number 77 took. That's the good news for him. Hard, but not as hard as that first one. So, folks, we're under caution for the second time tonight. Now, this is going to create an interesting dynamic here for the pit stop. I know we've got a stage caution coming out here momentarily in about 13 laps. I'm curious if we're going to have any drivers maybe try to come in now and gain the track position if they try to stay out on this caution Chris, what would you do if you were talking to your driver from the top of that pit box?
Yeah, I know that we got a long ways to go. There's a lot of laps here, but I think you got enough tires, and I think this is such a green racetrack, Ellis. This place is known for long green flag runs. I'm not surprised at all to see drivers come to pit road right here. They can go 60 laps on a tank of fuel, so go ahead and get the tires on it here. Try to, still maintain your speed and be able to maintain that track position with your speed right here on this restart.
And several drivers do work their way down pit road. You can see Christian Barnes and Jacob Cochran, 2 Championship 4 drivers, work their way down first. The right sides go up, and then the left sides will go up. We'll see who wins the race off of pit road. Currently, it looks like it is going to be Christian Barnes, but Evan Janik might have got out second right by Rayshawn Wingfield. Big moment there for the Championship 4 with a couple spots changing in the lineup here.
Yeah, and it looks like possibly Wingfield maybe edged him out right there off of pit road. So Rayshawn Wingfield, Ellis, was the fastest car on the racetrack right there before that caution. Didn't really get a chance to talk about it. He still had a lot of laps to go, but he was making that outside lane work better than anybody else out there. So Rayshawn looking to maybe spoil the show here for the Championship 4 tonight.
I think we might be looking at a spoiler indeed. Folks, if you are joining us at home right now, we appreciate you tuning in on YouTube. You can let us know in the chat who you are rooting for. You can see the first question we're going to be playing in the mini games for tonight is who's going to win? Type exclamation point and then whatever driver you think is going to win their number. So example would be exclamation point 24 or 45. And you could win a few bonus points to that trivia leaderboard. The fan with the most trivia points at the end of the night, or most points I should say, is going to take home a Juan Pablo Montoya 1/24th scale diecast. Still plenty of time, plenty of trivia, plenty of things going on. Every comment you make, by the way, gets you a point on the board. So keep those comments coming. Let us know what you think about the racing so far. I know we got Ricky who is just talking beef. He's got beef with almost every driver in the field, it seems like. Be nice, Ricky. Be nice. We love having you here. Show some drivers some love, too. I think he's just joking with these guys. But, Ricky, we're glad to have you as well as everyone else. NMG and Daytona also joining in the chat along with Leslie. Appreciate y'all all showing up tonight. Keep those comments coming. We're enjoying hearing from you. Connor had a great joke, by the way, Chris. What did the wheel say to the hat?
Where's my hubcap?
No, boy, you cheated. You read that question. You read that answer in the chat, I'm pretty sure. Pace car peels off. No driver's going to be able to cheat on this restart. It's going to be on Christian Barnes to get them underway, and he mashes that throttle. Rayshawn Wingfield on the outside didn't stand a chance. He's in second. Evan Janik's going to look to change that. Sails his way down into turn number 1. That black and blue, number 71, sets his sights on second, but there's a car not too far behind. Tyler Stevenson made it 3 wide between Jacob Cochran and Gavin Henson. Continues to be a battle down the backstretch. Evan Janik blocks Stevenson. Almost a big moment.
Yeah, that 98 car is coming up the middle right there, and he is taking no prisoners on this restart. The 98, the 71, very close right there in turns 3 and 4. He's going to slide up in front of Jacob Cochran and put Tyler Stevenson up to the 3rd spot.
That number 98, Tyler Stevenson, proven to be the quintessential foil to the Championship 4 here as he moves his way into the 3rd position, and he's working his way up the track. You can see Jacob Cochran looking to maybe go inside, but didn't have the space to do it. They worked their way down the backstretch tonight for the 36th lap, just 9 laps left in stage number 1 here at Homestead.
Yeah, just 9 laps to go in this stage. Like you said, Ellis, and at the front of this thing, Christian Barnes is looking to maintain that track position, but back behind him, it is all chaos where his championship contenders are. Jacob Cochran, Evan Janik running really close together in traffic right here. This is probably not what they want. This is probably not where they want to be. But they're confident drivers right here as Evan Janik is going to slide up in front of Colin Bollinger.
Speaking of sliding, Rayshawn Wingfield had a moment, a couple of positions up there for a moment. Boy, Janik blocks the number 53. I don't know if I'd call it a block, actually, but just slid down to the bottom of the track, took that position away. Rayshawn Wingfield, Chris, is in trouble over the last lap. He's had 2 sets of bad corners. Now he does battle with Tyler Stevenson, trying to get that position back, but it brings the number 84 and 71 into that battle. Throw a blanket over these drivers right now. 2 of them Championship 4 contestants.
Yeah, it looks like Rayshawn is having a hard time. He was really working the top very well at the end of that run, Ellis. And I think he's having a little bit more of a difficult time right now to do it. I think most of the fast cars are down there on the white line. Look at all the cars running down there at the bottom of the track, and Rayshawn is still trying to make that top work. I think that he's going to need some more laps on his tires to get the speed out of that top lane that he wants.
Oh boy, Jacob Cochran almost got in the back of that number 98, and he does that time. Contact between the number 98 of Tyler Stevenson and Jacob Cochran, a championship contender. Look at the run. Wingfield gets off of turn 2. It's a battle for the lead down into turn 3.
Yeah, here I just got done talking about how he needed a few more laps, but he made the momentum work up there on the top. Rayshawn Wingfield trying to make the bottom work here in 3 and 4, taking it to one of our championship contenders, Christian Barnes, for the lead.
Barnes has the preferential spot on the outside, exiting that corner, but both drivers now try the outside through turns 1 and 2. It's Wingfield in that red, white, and blue machine, second in the running order right now, trying to move his way up to first. Left and then right, and you're riding on board. There goes the Wingfield down to the inside, trying to get by the leader, Christian Barnes.
No greater example, Ellis, than why fans and drivers alike love the racing here at Homestead. Look at these drivers going at it. Crossover right here by Christian Barnes.
Crossover indeed by Barnes on Wingfield down into turn 1. They'll trade blows once again. This time it's Barnes on the inside. Wingfield to the outside. Can he hold and get that momentum off the corner? Are we going to see another crossover here? There goes Wingfield to the inside. Deja vu from just a lap ago.
This is amazing racing up here at the front of this thing. They're racing so hard, but racing so clean. Rayshawn's going to slide up in front of him. Almost a pseudo slide job right there by the number 23. Oh, he's trying to put a block on Barnes.
Another one. Wingfield tries to close the door, but Christian Barnes says, no, sir, I'm chasing a championship. Now they chase it down into turn number 1. Evan Janik is in trouble with Colin Bollinger back in third position, now fourth, side by side. Maybe a little bit of contact there, Chris.
Yeah, those drivers leaning on each other. We've seen them in close quarters in the last few laps right there, and they came to blows right there in turns 1 and 2 right there. Evan Janik's going to have to regroup right here to sort of give chase right here in these closing laps of stage 1.
Just 3 laps left until we hit lap number 45 in stage number 1, and there is intense racing going on. First all the way back to 25th. I don't know where to look right now. Thankfully, we've got Johnny controlling the cameras because I would be all over the place. But Wingfield looking like a pro up top, Chris. He has found his groove in the last 5 laps. We had just talked about how driver number 23 was struggling, but he has since found something here as he's reclaimed the lead up top. Christian Barnes working the bottom now. Another pass for the lead almost happens, but Wingfield rides that momentum off of turn 4. It's Wingfield, Barnes, and Stevenson. Just 2 laps left in stage number 1.
Yeah, and Ellis, I think it's good to update our viewers at home. There's no stage points advantage tonight for the championship 4. It's all about who finishes higher out of those 4 right here. But they want to finish ahead of each other in this stage to have the track position heading into stage 2.
Track position gonna be important. Getting ready to take the white flag for stage number 1. Tyler Stevenson trying to work his way by championship contender Christian Barnes. He's gonna slide back into third position. There's a battle going on for 4th between Jacob Cochran and Colin Bollinger right behind them. They work their way down into turn number 1 as well, side by side for 2nd and likewise for 3rd.
Yeah, that battle right there between Bollinger and Cochran is going to settle off turn 2. Bollinger is going to complete the pass, and Evan Janik going to look to the inside, but not going to be able to do anything with Jacob Cochran as Rayshawn Wingfield is looking for that green and white checkered flag.
Wingfield looks like he's going to win the stage. Christian Barnes chases him down to the inside. It's going to be side by side. Barnes wins stage number 1. Wow, I did not see that coming.
I spoke too early. Rayshawn Wingfield, yeah, he tagged the wall in 3 and 4. He's been more aggressive than anybody else with running the wall, Ellis, and it bit him right there in turns 3 and 4 coming to the end of stage 1.
Folks, you got one last chance to pick your winner for the night. 3 points for the leaderboard for the diecast giveaway can be won here. Simply type exclamation point and the driver's number who you think is going to win. If you think it's going to be that number 27, hit exclamation point 27, hit that enter button, put it in the chat, and you might win 3 points on the leaderboard at the end of the night. Last chance here. We're going to take that away and close that in the next lap or so. Lots of comments coming in the chat right now. You can watch Christian Barnes right there with Rayshawn Winkfield and Tyler Stevenson in that number 98. I think drivers are going to be, particularly Colin Bollinger, Chris, I think that number 23 or that number 53 is going to be eager to get to pit road here. Actually, no, I was looking at the wrong number there. All drivers on 14-lap old tires. I suspect they're going to get new tires here with the bounty of tires they have sitting in their pit stall. 6 sets of Goodyears for those machines tonight. Under caution for the third time, I should say, tonight, for the end of stage number 1. Getting ready to watch drivers potentially make their way down pit road. You saw Christian Barnes there win stage 1 in thrilling fashion. Chris, if the finish of stage 1 was any indication as to what we're in store for over the course of the remaining 150 laps for this championship finale, folks, it is going to be a barn burner. Do not go anywhere. This is the best racing on YouTube tonight, no doubt. Let's see how this pit battle shakes out. You can see the pit stop times down there on the bottom. When they come off, we'll see who has the fastest pit time.
Yeah, we'll see right here as Rayshawn Wingfield, Christian Barnes, both those drivers right here leading everybody down. Barnes has the advantage, Ellis, of having that number 1 pit stall as the pole sitter. Just got to bump the clutch and head off a pit road. And he's receiving service right now on the left sides of that Domino's car. One car looks like it's going to take a little bit different strategy. Actually, Rayshawn Wingfield is going to beat off Christian Barnes off pit road right here, and he's going to come off pit road in third.
Rayshawn Winkfield going to come off in third position, folks. Do not go anywhere. You're not going to miss a moment of green flag racing. We're going to step away for less than 30 seconds to hear from the presenting partner of this series, Fall Creek Plumbing. We're going to be back in less than 30. It's going to be amazing. Don't go anywhere.
Whether it's a sudden leak or a project you've been meaning to tackle, Fall Creek Plumbing is here to help. Serving all of central Indiana, we're a small family-owned business based in Pendleton, built on honesty, quality, and care. From slab leaks and water heaters to full plumbing upgrades and everyday maintenance, our team brings experience and craftsmanship to every job, big or small. It's not just about fixing problems, it's about providing reliable, long-term solutions for your home. At Fall Creek Plumbing, we believe in showing up on time, treating your home with respect, and doing the job right the first time. Because peace of mind shouldn't be a luxury, it should be the standard. Fall Creek Plumbing, local, reliable, professional, and proud sponsor of Mystic Racing League.
Folks, stage 1 has just ended. Getting ready for the beginning of stage 2 championship finale here for the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp up in the Slingshot TV booth. So grateful for you to be joining us tonight on such an amazing occasion with 4 drivers chasing the championship here, but 25 drivers looking for bragging rights. That end of stage 1 was absolutely phenomenal. It was a photo finish at the line, and I suspect it is only going to get wilder. Drivers looking to take the choose rule right now to see where they're going to start, top or bottom here on this restart. And you can see the number 85 of Justin Hendry is going to be our leader on the restart. That's a new name. I believe in Justin Hendry. I haven't seen him all season, but he's showing me something I like right now in that number 85. Little interesting pit strategy here, Chris. Maybe right side tires only or no tires on that number 85. What do you make of that call?
Yeah, that's an interesting decision right there. And yeah, just looking for some track position. He was in the pit stall for 6 seconds, so I'm thinking that maybe he possibly took 2 tires. I'm not sure though, but yeah, interesting call right here. We'll have to see how it works out, what kind of grip he has right here on the restart. If you're one of these Championship 4 contenders, this might make you a little bit nervous. Not sure how familiar they are with Justin. He might be just a fine, he might be a great driver, but, you just don't know, with some new drivers to the series. So, I know they're going to have their eyes peeled right here on this restart and just hope he's able to get through the gears cleanly.
We are going to see what's going to happen next. Getting ready for the restart. Rayshawn Wingfield on that outside, but the control car who's going to decide when we get those engines back up to speed. That's Justin Hendry on the inside. He's in that Geico restart zone. He brings us back underway from Miami. Stage 2 has begun. Big crash down the front straightaway. 4, now 5 cars in the wall. Evan Janik was in the middle of that. It's going to put us under caution for the 4th time tonight. Evan Janik, Championship 4 contender. Michael Wade in there as well. Let's see if we can't figure out what happened to bring out this disaster on the restart.
Yeah, I think it might have been just a jam up through the gears, possibly right here. A couple cars around right there. That's Derek Jewett. It happened in front of these guys. I'm not sure if maybe Evan Janik was the driver who had trouble there on the restart, Ellis.
This is giving what we saw a week or two ago where Evan Janik missed a gear, it looked like, on the restart. Something happened and it stacked the field up. We just saw something similar happen here for Janik. So I'm going to have to figure out what exactly happened there, but I think Janik got away with one. That Championship 4 driver really doesn't look like he's going to have any serious damage on the rear portion of that number 71 Amsoil Chevrolet. Let's ride on board, see what happened.
Yeah, and you could hear the engine rev up like he was trying to shift up and it would not shift up. And yeah, we saw him run into trouble with this. What was it, last week, Ellis? And it's a problem again this week for Evan, and he's got some right rear damage. It's not significant damage, but it is damage to that right rear, and that might affect the handling of that 71. And he's going to come to pit road, and I'm going to be curious to see what he decides to do. Is this going to be, getting it fixed the old-fashioned way by taking the time, or is he going to possibly use a quick repair here?
We're going to have to find out, but this could, Chris, have, as they say, major championship implications. That is the regular season champion, Evan Janik, coming down pit road here on lap 53 after kind of being the epicenter of that event that brought out the caution. We're going to have to see what that means for him long term as we work the 4th caution of the evening. Your current running order as they stand in this championship finale. It's Justin Hendry with a gutsy call on pit road, going to maintain the lead. Rayshawn Wingfield will be 2nd. Tyler Stevenson, that number 98, has been fast all evening long. He's going to be 3rd. Christian Barnes currently running 4th. And then Colin Bollinger finishing out the top 5 right now. So we watch Evan Janik with a lengthy stop on pit road, finally bringing down that gear and exiting pit road here. It's going to put him back to the very tail end of the field. Drivers, I believe, taking the choose rule right here. No surprise. It's going to be the number 85 of Hendry on the inside and the number 23 of Rayshawn Wingfield, exactly as we had it last time here. So we'll just re-rack them for this restart on lap number 54. Folks, don't forget, if you're watching at home, we are competing in the chat for that Juan Pablo Montoya diecast tonight. Every comment you make gets you a point on the leaderboard. You've seen that leaderboard up multiple times on the scrolling ticker down there at the bottom of the screen. We appreciate everything y'all do. We love giving stuff away. And hey, I'm going to make a bounty for points right now. If you get someone else to come into this chat that has not been in here tonight, and you get them to let us know that you brought them, I'll throw 2 points your way on the leaderboard for that Juan Pablo Montoya diecast. Get someone, send them the link. Let's get everyone in here and let's set a record for viewership tonight, folks. We're looking forward to giving away that diecast, but I think all of us are probably looking just as equally as forward, if not more, to this restart, which is going to bring us just one lap closer to the final lap of this championship race. That's Justin Hendry, newcomer Justin Hendry on the 85, bottom on the 85, with Rayshawn Wingfield on the outside. We're back underway here at Miami. Clean start this time for the number 85 of Justin Hendry. The battle's on for second between Tyler Stevenson and the number 23 of Rayshawn Winkfield. Christian Barnes chases it up the track, but right now the battle is on for the lead. Tyler Stevenson looks to the inside, down the backstretch. The number 85 of Justin Hendry slides to the top. He's got the momentum.
Yeah, Hendry's trying to hold on to the lead right here, but Tyler Stevenson, we saw Stevenson on the previous restart be very aggressive. A lot of speed in that 98 car on the early stages of the run, and here he is. He's going to clear that 85 and go to the lead.
New leader, third leader tonight. It's the 98 of Tyler Stevenson. Christian Barnes makes an evasive maneuver down to the inside underneath the number 85 of Justin Hendry. Several other drivers try to follow suit. That's Brad Nelson thinking about taking it 3 wide, and they didn't think about it. They did it right behind them. That's the 39 of Gavin Henson, the 53 of Colin Bollinger, and Adam Holston. Chris wisely dives out of that. Now they're 3 wide once again. That number 85 on old tires is dropping like a rock through the field.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the grip that these other drivers around him has, and he's just he's doing everything that he can. He's being very predictable. He's doing a nice job, but he just doesn't have the speed that those other drivers have.
Doesn't have the speed. That shows you how important tires and tire fall-off is going to be tonight. Tyler Stevenson's done the best job so far. He's your leader. Christian Barnes second. But look at this battle going on for 5th position. Gavin Henson and Colin Bollinger, 2 non-playoff drivers, but fast ones at that. Both looking for a win. Gavin Henson looking for his first win of the season.
Yeah, and that's Gavin Henson, who we saw, he made a nice charge through the playoffs this year. Unfortunately, he didn't make it to the championship 4. And he's looking to, stake that claim and get that win right here in the final race of the season. He hasn't picked up a victory yet. We know how close he's been this year. Maybe he can get it done tonight.
Who just inches off the left rear quarter panel of Colin Bollinger was that number 33 of Brad T. Nelson, who's now doing battle to the outside of Gavin Henson. Nelson working that middle line. Gavin Henson there in that blue and white machine on the inside. Almost a little bit of contact there. Holston also gets through there. And Chris, Holston, I think, is playing the long game. Let's talk about that driver number 8 of Adam Holston. Just looking through my stats on the evening, it's been an amazing season. If you watch that pre-race opener about that feature featuring the 4 playoff drivers, Adam Holston, 22 years old, out of Yorktown, Virginia. This is his second attempt at the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series title. Came up short last year. He is considered the underdog of the group, the 4th seed in the playoffs, so to speak. 2 wins earlier this season, Las Vegas, and then just last week at Martinsville. He has done an amazing job of just being there when it counts. If there's a driver who is there lurking and waiting for mistakes or waiting for chaos to seize the moment, it is that driver number 8. I look at a late race restart with leaders kind of battling it out and chaos breaking out. Don't count out Adam Holston kind of being the guy lurking in the back, climbing his way to victory there through the smoke of some sort of last lap calamity. It could happen, and I think Adam Holston knows it, which is why he is just kind of biding his time, driving very patiently tonight, and that has been kind of the story of his season.
Yeah, when I think about just clutch performance, that's what I think. Yeah, I think about Adam Holston. He last week, put himself in position to get the victory at Martinsville, which is, winning at Martinsville, any race, Ellis, is, that's a difficult feat in and of itself, but to do it, with the pressure of making it to the championship race, that's even more pressure. And, I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see him walk away with this championship tonight. I know people are talking about him being the underdog, but he just finds a way to put himself in position. He's not, super flashy, leading a ton of laps, but he's just really smooth, really steady, and finds himself up there at the front of these things near the end when they count.
62 laps in the books, 138 remaining until we get to the end of this thing tonight, the championship finale. Right now, your top 5, you can see them on the ticker on the left. It's Stevenson, Barnes, Bollinger, Winkfield, and Henson. Chris, if I'm not mistaken, only one of the top 5 is a playoff driver, and that's Christian Barnes. How good are you feeling right now if you're Christian Barnes looking at that black box on your screen, seeing that you're the only one of the guys battling for the title tonight running in the top 5?
Christian Barnes is, I kind of liken him to Adam Holston as well. We don't typically see him run up front every single moment of the race, but he usually finds himself in position at the end. And I was just thinking earlier about how this is such a difference right here for Christian Barnes. He's been up there near the front, battling for the lead, lap in, lap out right here. Came in really late to the practice session, set on the pole. A lot of speed out of that 27. And a lot of speed out of another driver right here. Johnny, we might be able to go side by side. This driver right here in the number 71.
Tyler Stevenson leading the way over Christian Barnes, who's just about a car length off the back bumper. And if you're Barnes, one car in the wall, that's the number 53, Bollinger. Trouble. This is what kind of you imagine might happen over the course of 200 laps. If you ride that fence too much, it's bound to jump out and bite you. And it might have just gotten Bollinger there for a moment. He's riding in third, but the battle for the lead, you can see it. Barnes tries to send it down to the inside. Stevenson keeps that door closed. That rear end might have walked out just a little bit on the 27, Chris.
Yeah, it might have just a little bit, but we are seeing some good center of the corner speed right here from Christian Barnes. It looks like Tyler Stevenson made a nice charge up there through the field, on that restart, Ellis. But, I'm not sure if maybe he got some of the goodie out of the tires right here. He still has good pace, but we're seeing Christian Barnes in the last lap or two maybe put a little bit more pressure on Stevenson. We'll have to see if he can maintain the pace that he's had up here at the front of this thing as this run progresses.
Run is progressing indeed. A couple notes. Hey, Holston Racing says when we go side by side, they're losing audio. So just a heads up on that. We might get that sorted out. Holston, I appreciate that very much. Johnny Boy 101 in the chat says he's here because Daytona sent him. Does he have to stay? He's got to get up early in the morning, man. We would not expect you to stay. I'll make a deal with you. You hit that subscribe button and you tune in the future, and we will count it even. We'll give Daytona those points as we ride on board. Tyler Stevenson watching the battle for the lead right now. That leaderboard in the chat's getting tight too. We'll talk about it momentarily, but this battle for the lead, really, Chris, the entire top four, Stevenson, Barnes, Bollinger, and Winkfield. You can see Bollinger climb the top. Caution is out on the speedway. Tommy Ryan might have been part of the reason for that. I don't know if that is for sure, but I'm just looking at kind of my telemetry going on here. Stephen Gill maybe as well. I see a hood flying down the backstretch. That is never good news, and there is the culprit. There's the car with the missing hood. Evidence found. Who is that right there?
That's Stephen Gill in the 03, and yes, I think the crash is going to be centered, the beginnings of the crash at least, are going to be centered on that 03. He and the number 99 of Tommy Ryan had some contact off of turn 2. Here they are battling side by side for... and yeah, it looks like Gill just kind of comes down the hill a little bit. I think Tommy Ryan is moving up, but I think Ryan is expecting Gill to go out towards the wall on corner exit. There's a lot of room out there, and unfortunately the 03 does not utilize all of that racetrack. The 28 of Jeff Ryan, both Ryans are in this crash. Also, that's Seth Heyman, I think, also involved in the 30 machine. So several cars involved right here in this crash off of turn 2. Riding on board with Jeff Ryan right here, and he gets lit up from behind. I think that was by the 30 machine of Seth Heyman.
Couple of newcomers there. Glad to have them, but it has not been their lucky night with a caution here on lap number 69 of 200, approaching the halfway point here. This is the championship finale. And folks, I think you're seeing exactly right here why NASCAR is going to be taking their championship finale in real life back to Miami, at least for the 2026 season next year. I thought Christian Barnes might have thought about coming down pit road there. He even faked me out, Chris, with that maneuver, but still under caution. I don't see a whole lot of the front runners coming down pit road for fresh tires. They're probably going to wait at least until that next stage on lap 90, just about 19 laps from now. Boy, Chris, the chat is popping off tonight, man. We have got a lot of people in here right now. We got Julie Super, my mother-in-law. Appreciate you tuning in. Hi, Moki. Dawn Maximum Sports Network in here as well, ragging on Tyler Stevenson just a little bit. Maddie Black in here as well, saying she's here for Ricky LaFleur. Lots of people. Leslie in here. My goodness, Chris, I think this is the most packed out we have seen our chat this season. You can see the leaderboard. I'll throw up a leaderboard update so you can see the fans at home competing for that Juan Pablo Montoya diecast. It is as tight on the leaderboard for the chat as it is in the race, Chris. It is wide open, 5, 6, 7 folks now within a point or two of each other. So big competition on the track, but also in the chat tonight. We're almost halfway, folks, and this action has only continued to heat up. Zach White in the chat. He says, good race if I take out stupid Rex. Hey, it happens, man. It happens. We got Time Changer in the chat saying only 4 sets of tires left for some drivers. So
yeah.
That is going to be a story to follow. We're not even quite halfway yet. We're getting there, but drivers eating away at those tire allocations.
Yeah, and that's a big story I was going to talk about. I think that's why you saw so many drivers decide to stay out right here. 24 laps on this stint right here, Ellis. One driver especially, I'm not surprised at all to see stay out, is Evan Janik, one of our Championship 4 contenders, back in the 9th position. Evan actually has used, and I've been trying to keep track, I believe Evan has used 3 sets of tires because he came to pit road when he got his damage fixed and took 4 tires at that point, I believe. So 1 less set of tires to use for that 71. So I think that he definitely had to stay out right here, and I think that the rest of the field agreed with that assessment.
Well, they agree for now, but we're about to have a fight for real estate as they roll their way through turns 3 and 4. You can see Tyler Stevenson, Colin Bollinger. Those are going to be your top 2 cars here on the restart. It's going to be, I believe, Tyler Stevenson, that 98, the control car on the inside. When we see blue on the wall, that means we're in the restart zone, and Bollinger, the number 98 Stevenson can hit that throttle. He brings us underway. Slow restart. Everyone gets going. A bit of a stack up. We're going to have to watch to see if there's any contact. Everyone gets it gathered back up. A couple of evasive maneuvers, but everyone makes it into turn 1 safely so far. Stevenson to the inside. Colin Bollinger to the outside. It's a drag race on the exit of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Rayshawn Wheatfield swings it to the left. Stevenson into the wall. Can he keep it out of trouble? Gavin Henson, Brad Nelson. Can they hold on to it? Hanson into the wall. One driver. My gosh, Chris, take it away.
That was insane right there. We had like 2 different crashes that happened, and somehow I think we're going to get away from that one clean.
Oh, my
Not a whole lot of contact for these drivers.
Holy moly, how did we make it through that without a caution? Full talent on display there here on lap 75. At least 6 accidents happened that never happened.
Yeah, and this might be a good chance right here. We're still racing really hard right here for position, and this might be a good chance for maybe our audience to let us know if our split screen issues, our sound issues are continuing right here. We'll try to take
the number 78 of Hunt. One car, the 38 of, I believe that's Heyman in trouble. Big collision down the front straightaway. Sorry to interrupt, Chris. Wanted to make sure none of our Championship 4 drivers were involved in that. I think everyone in the Final 4 might have gotten away with one.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's go back and let's see what happened right here between these drivers. And this is up here around Tyler Stevenson where this starts in the 98 machine. This is Seth Pavement in the 30. He's going to get collected in this. And it looked like some contact in the wall. That might have been Evan Janik into the wall on the outside of Tyler Stevenson. Oh, no, that's not Evan Janik. That's the 78 of Caleb Hunt. So Evan Janik's going to get away from this one. But yeah, Tyler Stevenson and Caleb Hunt look to be the drivers who made some contact right there off of turn 2. There's Hunt in the 78 machine, Stevenson to the inside. And yeah, so the 78 tagged the wall, bounced off the wall, down into the right rear of the 98 machine, turned him head on into the wall. Stevenson's going to go down the track right here in front of traffic, going to collect that 30 machine of Seth Heyman, and both those drivers are going to tag the inside wall right there. We might be able to go back here once we get done checking this out right here, and possibly be able to take you back right here to all of these shenanigans on this restart, because this was wild. And folks at home, let us know. All right, here we go. All right, so I think that you might be able to hear us right now, so let us know if you can. Yeah, this is going to be the contact right here between Stevenson and Winkfield. There goes the Stevenson back in front of the field. There's Gavin Henson sliding through the grass right there. And yeah, they somehow all held on to it.
I still don't know how they held on to it. Yeah, they're saying it is good now. Thank you, Emily and Holston Racing, for letting us know we are good on audio on that split screen. Working the 7th caution of the night. It's been a wild one. 77 laps in, inching closer to the halfway mark. It's the season finale for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series from Mystic Racing League. We're having fun on the chat, on the track, and in the chat right now. Cars making their way down the backstretch. Might be a good opportunity to play a little bit of trivia here tonight. We're going to put the first trivia question up on the board. Let's see which one we want to go with here. You can see the trivia question on the bottom, folks. Homestead-Miami was one of the first NASCAR tracks to feature what innovation in the early 2000s? What innovation in the early 2000s? Go ahead and enter in exclamation point and then your letter of your answer choice. Was it progressive banking, LED lighting, synthetic turf, or heated pit boxes? As drivers take the choose rule, hit exclamation point, and then whatever letter choice you believe is the correct answer here. And we'll throw some points to the winner of that trivia question. Got a couple votes in here for some of the answers right now. Drivers taking the choose rule. Christian Barnes on the inside. He's second. Rayshon Wheatfield, Chris, going to the top here is going to be the control car, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong there on the outside here. Drivers working their way through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, he is going to be the control car, electing to take the top, and we've seen Rayshon have a lot of speed on that top lane. And I made the remark earlier that I think that Rayshon probably wants a long run so he, can utilize more of that speed right there. It's kind of hard to get going on the first few laps.
Drivers. What's that? Yeah, okay. Gotcha. 12 to go here in stage number 2. Working to lap 90. It's going to be a 12-lap shootout, just about what it was at the end of stage number 1. And boy, that was a wild one. If you're tuning in, do not go anywhere. Business is about to pick up. Bollinger and Barnes are your front row. Stack up. Henson into the wall, another car into the wall. Everyone looks like they made it through it other than 2 or 3 cars, but it's going to put us under caution once again. Now, Chris, this has been a reoccurring theme as we watch Henson gather it back up. These stack-ups, kind of something that we've seen occasionally, but we've seen a lot of these tonight. What's going on out there?
Yeah, so Homestead-Miami is a track that has a straight front stretch. There is no bend in the front stretch. It's not D-shaped. It doesn't have like a quad oval, tri-oval, or anything like that. And sometimes it's hard to see a few lanes ahead of you because of that, without the curve in the front stretch. And some drivers just trying to anticipate. It looks like everybody's just trying to anticipate this restart right here. And unfortunately right here, we just can't get going right here. Gavin Henson, unfortunately, getting turned around. Some damage right there to that number 39 machine. 0-3 right there is Stephen Gill. I think that's something that's, on these tracks right here. Indianapolis, you kind of see the same thing. New Hampshire as well. all those tracks have very straight front straightaways, and sometimes it's hard to just anticipate that restart and see a few rows ahead.
And that's going to make this shootout even shorter here. 10 laps left in this stage. I think it might be a good opportunity, really getting our commercial breaks in just the first half of this race. We're going to take a moment to step away and hear from our partners at AmSoil. We promise you're not going to miss a moment of green flag racing. We'll be back in less than 30 seconds. Back here live in Miami, working the 8th caution of the evening. The lights continue to get brighter as the sun sets here on Miami. Championship finale. You're watching Rayshawn Winkfield, not a title contender, but he's been fast and up front much of the evening. That 23 looking to play spoiler on the field. Christian Barnes is the first championship 4 contender. He's second with Colin Bollinger third, Brad T. Nelson fourth, and then Evan Janik back in 5th. He's a championship contender as well. Drivers taking the choose rule right now. Boy, that's kind of a close one between Janik and the car behind him there.
Yeah, it definitely was. And yeah, Ellis, I think these drivers right here are just hoping we can get a green flag stretch right here to the end of stage number 2. Some of our championship contenders, especially Ellis, I think they're probably hoping that, we can, it's going to be kind of chaotic right here on this restart. They're just hoping maybe they can survive, get going in this final stage, and maybe get a green flag run to kind of string this thing out a little bit.
We've seen some green flag runs over the course of the evening. Hey, shout out. Thanks, Connor, for the super chat. Appreciate that, man. He has said, we have a caution. I think you're going to be saying that a lot tonight, Connor. I think we're going to see the racing intensity pick up. These cars are loose. Maybe a little bit more grip once the sun sets, but appreciate y'all all tuning in the chat, rooting on your favorite drivers. Hey, the answer to that trivia question, it was progressive banking. If you put choice A, progressive banking, we threw some points your way on the chat leaderboard. Right now, at the top of the racing leaderboard, it's Rayshawn Winkfield. He's at the top of the track as well. Christian Barnes second. Pace car is going to peel off and turn it over to the leaders for the restart. Winkfield gets going. Not as much of a stack up as we've seen one car into the back of another, but everyone gets it underway. We make it down the front stretch, now down into turn number 1. Winkfield is your leader, but here comes Colin Bollinger and Christian Barnes second and third, and Jacob Cochran not far behind.
Yeah, great restart right there for Rayshawn Winkfield, getting control of this race, set and sail right there, and the battle is on for second right here. That's Christian Barnes, who we've seen up in the top 3 positions all night tonight, battling it out with Colin Bollinger. He's going to have a run right here at Rayshawn Winkfield, going to try to slide up in front of Bollinger.
Crossover from the number 53 on the 27, works his way to the inside. It's side by side. The 27 to Barnes to the high side. Bollinger to the inside. Bollinger looks to have the edge at this point. Now lays chase in the number 23. Bollinger now to the inside. Barnes fights back on the outside. Folks, you've seen how impressive that speed from the outside has been all night. Look for that in the closing stages of this race. Now just 6 laps left in stage number 2, but that outside line is going to be pivotal. Almost contact at the front.
Yeah, and Christian Barnes had to squeeze out of the throttle right there, and that's going to give Bollinger the run to the outside. He's going to get to the right rear of that number 27 machine of Christian Barnes right there, and Barnes is going to have a hard time clearing that 53 right here. I don't think he will, so Bollinger is going to have some momentum off turn 2 and possibly put himself in position to clear Barnes as they exit turn 4 down the front stretch.
That number 53 climbs the banking in turns 3 and 4. Barnes to the inside. They're going to try to climb the banking even more. Almost contact Evan Janik right there. But look out. The number 85 of Justin Hendry suddenly has come into the picture after being a little bit further back. And my goodness, Chris, this is the danger zone. The Hornet's Nest. If you're a championship contender, it's not where you want to be.
And Justin Hendry's on new tires, Ellis. He decided to come to pit road 14 laps ago, and we've had so many cautions, he hasn't been able to take advantage of them until now, and here he is coming back up through the field.
He's coming up through the field with a head of speed. Michael Wade not far behind him. Christian Barnes in a little bit of trouble. One car, Hendry loose down the front stretch, gathers it back up. Michael Wade dives below the Bollinger machine to take second position. Evan Janik there as well, Chris. This is wild.
Yeah, and Christian Barnes up on the outside right there. Look at that, he's trying to squeeze between the wall and Colin Bollinger. Gonna try to go back down to the inside. We got a battle going on for the lead right here. Michael Wade is taking it to Rayshon Wingfield, and I think that 3 machine is gonna clear him off of turn number 4.
For the first time tonight, Michael Wade is scored as the leader. It's lap number 88. Just 3 laps left in stage number 2. The battle's on for second. Car lengths behind Michael Wade. It's the 23 of Wingfield to the outside. Championship contender Evan Janik to the inside. He's going to bring Hendry and Barnes with him.
Yeah, and Janik right here, a nice recovery out of the driver of the 71. We're 3 wide behind him, though. The battle is on for third. That's Hendry in the middle. They get really close right there. Christian Barnes is very vulnerable right here in turns 3 and 4 with Justin Hendry right on his door.
Hendry in the middle of a Barnes-Wingfield sandwich. They hold on to it. Barnes thinks better of it, lives to fight another day, settles back into the 5th position in that number 27 machine. There's a battle going on behind them. Jacob Cochran, another championship contender, sliding up in from the number 53 of Bollinger, coming to the white flag here in just half a lap for stage number 2.
Yeah, and Adam Holston just behind him. Holston's looking to keep up with those championship drivers. They're all right there together in positions 5th, 6th, and 7th, with Evan Janik up ahead in 3rd, kind of breaking free of them. Janik looking right here that he's going to put some pressure. Actually, I think that's Hendry right there in front of him for the 2nd spot.
This is a battle for 2nd. Michael Wade, car lengths ahead right now. Likely going to win stage number 2, but the battle is for 2nd. Evan Janik backs off the back bumper of that number 85 of Hendry. Maybe thinking big picture here as we approach halfway in the championship finale. 4 car lengths back from Janik is the number 23 of Wingfield. Likewise, back to Christian Barnes. Drivers settling in here now, maybe not wanting to force the issue as we come to the green and white checkered flag for the end of stage number 2 here at Miami. The yellow flag waves for the drivers here on lap number 91. Michael Wade scored as your stage winner. No points are being given tonight, though. Justin Hendry, newcomer, is going to finish 2nd in that number 85. Let us know in the chat if you believe in Justin Hendry. Evan Janik in 3rd, Rayshon Wingfield in 4th, and Christian Barnes rounds out the top 5. But how about that number 3, Chris? Pink Machine. It is October, which means it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Several drivers sporting some pink schemes out there. Michael Wade being one of them.
Yeah, always love to see the pink paint schemes come out during the month of October for breast cancer awareness. Great cause and a great nod to all those who have been afflicted by breast cancer. So yeah, love seeing Michael Wade carry those pink colors out here tonight. And a great call by Michael Wade and Justin Hendry right there. I'm gonna be curious to see, Ellis, what they do here on this restart. Do they, or, when we come down pit road right here, do they choose to stay out, knowing that, this would put them at a little bit of a tire disadvantage possibly if they come to pit road this time. So might see those 2 drivers stay out this time and try to save that set for maybe the next caution.
Yeah, and Michael Wade and Justin Hendry, you mentioned it. They're on 21-lap-old tires compared to 39 and 44-lap-old tires from the rest of the field. So they've got the tire advantage right now. They would have to use essentially an extra set here. We got a super chat, Chris. Don Maximum Sports in the chat says, say his name, and he appears. I believe in Justin Hendry. We got the TNA wrestling jokes going on in here, watching these drivers wrestle their way
confused
down pit road. Yeah, you heard me keep on saying that. You just You're just not a mark enough, Chris. You got to watch more wrestling. Folks, right now you're watching the battle down pit road wrestling match, you might call it, as drivers make that left-hand turn in their pit stall. Michael Wade led the way. He was scored as your winner here. And, Chris, we answered the question. Michael Wade, and looks like the number 85 came down pit road and likely going to take tires here. We'll see who's got the fastest pit stop, keeping track of that pit road battle, and it does look like Wingfield might have won his way off of pit road. Michael Wade came down. I'm curious, we might grab Michael Wade here for a quick interview and see what he has to say about how that stage ended here. Maybe. Where's our broadcast booth? I'm trying to get him in here. There it is. Hey, Michael Wade, it's Chris and Ellis in the booth. You got a copy in that number 3 machine.
Yeah, man, I got you.
Hey, man, winner of stage number 2. The racing out there is absolutely wild. How did you get up front there? What's it feel like out there?
I know them fast guys and the championship guys were not going to take a chance and pit on that last caution we had. They wasn't going to come and take tires, so I came down and put some tires on it, and I knew I had a good chance to get up to the front and battle with those guys.
Man, we've seen you have speed all season long. Does that 3 got enough in it for the win tonight?
Yeah, I haven't had a win all season. I haven't won winless in this league since I've been in here, and the way the season's going so far, I haven't collected one of those. So I know these guys are racing for a championship, but I'm racing for a win this season.
All right, man, we'll keep an eye on that number 3. Good luck out there on this restart and the rest of the race.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, so you heard from Michael Wade there, Chris. What do you make of that? Trying to play foil and upset spoiler here in South Beach for the championship.
Yeah, I think it's a good call, and putting himself in a good track position right here. He gained a lot of positions, by making that call right there. So yeah, I think that's an interesting call. I hope that it works out for him. And if we get a long green flag run, if this stretch right here in this final stage goes green for a long time, he can definitely make it work. I'm not sure. I know he's been to pit road more than anybody else. He's been to pit road 5 times. I'm not sure if he's taken tires all 5 of those times. If he has, he might find himself in a little bit of trouble right here at the end of this thing, maybe running out of tires. But, I'm willing to bet that he knows his situation better than we do. And, I think that's a good call for him.
Interesting call indeed. Drivers taking the choose rule right now. Here coming to lap number 95. It's going to be a restart on lap 96, almost halfway here. And it's kind of been a mix. I keep on thinking, has this race felt like it's gone fast, or has it had a fairly slow pace? I think we're kind of sitting right in the middle of that right now. So you reach the halfway point. Fans, if you are just tuning in, this is the season finale for Mystic Racing League in the Fall Creek Plumbing Series. 4 drivers tonight racing for a championship. The one who finishes the highest out of those 4 is going to be crowned the 2025 season champion. But there are 20 other drivers out here tonight going for the win. You heard from Michael Wade, one of those a moment ago. They want to win too. This isn't just about them. Rayshawn Wingfield, one of those guys, non-playoff drivers. Justin Hendry, Michael Wade, Colin Bollinger, so many guys, Chris. I didn't expect to see so many fast cars up here at the front in the final race of the season, the Championship 4. Kudos to Mystic Racing League for bringing all these drivers in and keeping these fields big over the course of a 33-race season. Impressive feat, to say the least. Pace car is going to make that left-hand turn, and it's going to be on Wingfield and Justin Hendry to get us going. Stack up. Can everyone avoid catastrophe? They do. We're clean down the front straightaway. We've seen that happen a couple times now, but they get away safely here. Wingfield sails it down into turn number 1. The battle's on for second between Barnes and Hendry.
Yeah, we avoided a disaster right there, but that definitely could have been very bad for some of our championship contenders. You would hate to see some of their championship nights end early because of a stack up on a restart. But yeah, that's been very treacherous on those. As Christian Barnes closing right up on the rear bumper of Rayshawn Wingfield, looking for the lead.
Rayshawn Winkfield cannot blink because the 27 is now to his inside. Justin Hendry has appeared in third position. The battle's on for the lead side by side down into turn number 2. Barnes on the inside. The 23 of Winkfield in that red, white, and blue machine to the outside. It remains a drag race down the back straightaway. They sail it down into turn 3.
Yeah, Rayshawn Winkfield not going up to the wall like he was earlier, looking to pack some air on the right side of that number 27 machine. Oh,
Michael Wade! He's going to get it corralled. Potentially, can we keep it green here? We'll see if the race controller throws the yellow. No one seems to be in danger. Wade going to gather it back up in that pink machine, and he goes from first to worst. But the battle is currently on for fourth position. I should say fifth. Janik and Cochran, 2 championship contenders side by side. That's for fifth position.
Yeah, the battle for fifth is on right here between these championship drivers. 2 of the fastest cars that we've seen all season. 2 of the fastest drivers, the 71 of Janik and the 84 of Jacob Cochran. 1 car sideways right there off of turn 4, but they collect it because we're still green here at Homestead.
Still green now, lap 99, coming to lap 100. Let's check in on your championship 4. We'll start with first position. Christian Barnes scored as your leader. No change for Barnes. He started on the pole. He remains in first. He's lost a couple positions, but he's gained them back. And I would say, Chris, relatively good night so far for Christian Barnes. That Texas driver riding the wave of momentum from winning the Black Diamond Designs Truck Series Championship last night here at Miami. He continues to surge towards the front here. Mark him down as your leader and technically your championship favorite at this point. Looking at second right now, Evan Janik. You got to go back to fifth position, Chris. Evan Janik has had an up and down sort of night.
He definitely has, but he's overcome so much adversity tonight. Having that problem on that restart, missed a shift, had his right rear damage that he had to get fixed as well. But he climbed up through the field right there, utilized a little bit fresher tires to come up there through the field. But that 71 has had a lot of speed tonight, and I'll be really curious, Ellis, if we get a long green flag run to see how Evan Janik stacks up against some of these championship drivers right here. He's definitely going to be somebody that you're going to have to contend with, I think, to win this thing.
About 8 car lengths back, Jacob Cochran, third in the championship 4 right now. When we talk about it, third place is in 6th position. This is the cream of the crop. There's a reason they're the final 4. And Chris, Jacob Cochran, folks, if you watch the pre-race, if you haven't, go back and watch the pre-race. We had a little feature video on these 4 drivers. And the 84 of Jacob Cochran, 7 races won this season at a variety of styles of the track. If you look at drivers who were probably the favorite going in tonight, Cochran was at the top of the list. He's the hottest driver right now out of Georgia. He's a rookie in Mystic Racing League. Make no mistake, a rookie on the track, but showing years of experience and wisdom behind the helmet of that number 84.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Ellis. I think that he probably was the championship favorite coming into tonight. How fast he's been in all of the playoff races this season. I would expect that he would be somebody that you'd have to go through to win this thing. Doesn't quite have the speed, I think, that we anticipated him having tonight, but it's still early, and if there's one thing that we've learned about Jacob Cochran is that he's really good at making these tires last. And these drivers have a 100% fuel cell tank tonight in these cars, and they can go about 60 laps on the tank of fuel. If we do go that far on fuel, I'd be really curious to see what his lap time looks like at the end of this run. Don't count him out at all.
He's great at saving tires, and just a few spots behind him, back in 9th position. You're watching him there. Adam Holston, the number 8, slowly just kind of biding his time. We've talked about him kind of being a driver who lies in the weeds for much of the race, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then waits for something to happen. He can seize the moment. He's been amazing at that all season, picked up 2 wins as a result. Trying to hold off Derek Jewett right now is Adam Holston, 22 years old as well, out of Yorktown, Virginia. He's done this before, and I think maybe, do you learn anything after being in a championship Final 4 before? How helpful is that the second time around with that experience from the first attempt?
Experience definitely matters because you know what the pressure feels like, you know what the experience is like, you know what you have to do. Being in one of these races is different than a full season point situation, Ellis. You know, there's just so much more pressure on you to, you know, one position is all it takes possibly to separate you between a championship and not winning a championship. He's got a little damage to the rear bumper. I went back while we were talking about Adam and tried to see where that occurred, and it actually happened on the restart right here. We might be able to go side by side right here to show you what actually happened to Adam Holston in that number 8. There he is on the inside. That's his teammate, Evan Janik, behind him. And you mentioned, Ellis, the stack up, and that was some contact from the front bumper at Evan Janik. Definitely not intentional, just the jam up effect. And be curious to see if that damage maybe is affecting the handling of that number 8 machine. It's pretty caved in on that back bumper.
Yeah, we'll see if the damage has any impact on that 8. Currently in 8th position in the 8 for Adam Holston. In the chat, we got some action going on. The action continues on the track, but also in the chat, we got Ricky LaFleur ragging on drivers, of course. He's having a good old time in there. Emily says we need to see Brandon Willard out on the track more. I agree, but the commissioner has his responsibilities to attend to. Daytona in the chat, having a good time as well. Hey, thanks for the super chat. Don Maximum Sports Networks is making a comparison here to the movie Cars. He says, what I'm hearing is Jacob Cochran is Lightning McQueen, a rookie, maybe winning the Mystic Cup. Hopefully he doesn't blow a tire and blow it all here. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we're living out our Cars fantasy here on the track right now. We got Zach White saying he can't wait for next season already. And of course, Connor Lyons in the chat is enjoying the action, thanking Whiplash Simcams. And yeah, Chris, good point here. Whiplash Simcams is what's making Johnny's job in the production booth much easier and able to bring us camera views like this every single week for you folks watching at home. And Johnny, let's check in with you real quick. What do you make so far? You got a championship pick here based on the first 100 lap of action?
Well, I was going to say before the race that I was going to pick 27 based off of the looks of the car. But, yeah, now, you know, in hindsight, it makes me look like maybe I'm just picking the winner. But, yeah, that Domino's machine, it's a clean blue look Ford. You don't see too many Fords out there. And, yeah, that's my pick. And right now it's looking pretty good for Kristen Barnes.
Christian Barnes running well. You're making me hungry in that Domino's machine. Hey, let us know what your favorite fast food pizza chain is in the chat. We might throw some points your way for the best pizza restaurant. Not local chains, but your national chains. Let us know as we watch that Domino's machine ride around the track. Looking at a little further through the field at some of the interesting battles going on. 14th position, throwing it back there to Alex Pollock, who's had a solid night. That's a good-looking paint scheme. I like that Miami-themed paint scheme that Alex is running. Working his way towards the back of Trevor Hunt, who we haven't seen a whole lot of this season, but Alex Pollock has just had he hasn't run the full schedule. But shout out to the driver of the 92, who, Chris, I don't know if you noticed this, but I just felt like this guy got faster and faster as the season went on. And it's kind of a league owner, as a race fan of a league, you're always looking to see those drivers who grow. And if I'm looking for like a most improved driver, I think the 92 is one of the drivers I'm considering on the list for that.
Yeah, he definitely has improved over the course of this season, getting faster and faster, and made a run in the playoffs. You know, tried to get himself right here to the championship 4. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, but he's still out here and he's still grinding away. And yeah, he's been kind enough this season. He and Brett Wren to both run the heart rate monitor all season long, so we definitely appreciate him doing that. And yeah, he's got a nice, as you mentioned, Ellis, a very Miami-esque paint scheme on that number 92. It definitely stands out on the track, and good-looking ride.
Good-looking ride indeed, man. People were inspired by the pizza car in the chat. We got Don Maximum Sports Network saying Little Caesars is the top of the food chain. Alex Monet for the first time chiming in here. Round Table Pizza. I'm guessing that's maybe a local establishment. Cool name, though. I like it. Daytona says Pizza Hut. We got several Pizza Hut fans. Ricky LaFleur's a Papa John's man. Little Caesars again, says Connor Lyons. People popping off in the chat about pizza right now as we watch Jacob Cochran running currently in the 5th position, trying to get by Justin Hendry in that 4th position. And if you're Jacob, and Evan Janik is in 3rd position right now. how much do you want to push these cars with 85 laps to go? Of course, we are past the halfway point. You don't know. We're looking like we've got a green flag run going right now. What did we say the fuel mileage was tonight, Chris?
About
60?
Yeah, it's about 60 laps on a tank of fuel. So, yeah, let's watch Jacob Cochran. Let's watch Evan Janik right here. Watch their lap times compare to Christian Barnes as this run progresses right here. If we continue to stay green, it's going to be interesting to see. Christian Barnes is in the best position, Ellis. He has the track position and he has the clean air. And when you have clean air, you are not abusing your tires as much as the drivers who are in dirty air. It's just a simple fact. Now, as we mentioned, Jacob Cochran is a maestro at saving tires. He's one of the best in Mystic Racing League edits. So this will be a good barometer if we go green right here before our pit stop, what might be the final pit stop of the race, to see how they stack up with each other.
We'll see how they stack up with each other. Time running out. You can see similar pace. You saw the tire wear calculator for Jacob Cochran also pretty low right now. He's been a tire-saving pro all season, but you can't imagine a better way. This seems to always shake out this way at Homestead. In real life and here in Mystic Racing League, the top four always find their way to the front of the running order. Jacob Cochran right now scored in fourth. 3 of your top 4 title contenders are in the top 4 right now, and Adam Holston not too far back in 8th. So anything can happen. I think we are in store for an amazing season finale conclusion here. Currently, Christian Barnes, we mentioned, scored as your leader. Tyler Stevenson climbed his way back up to 2nd. Evan Janik 3rd. Jacob Cochran 4th. Colin Bollinger 5th right now. We did find out from Alex Monet, Roundtable Pizza is a huge West Coast chain, potentially.
Oh, nice.
So we're learning a little bit tonight. Alex, appreciate you tuning in for the first time. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely free, and it is the best way to show your support for this channel, and it doesn't cost you a thing. Right now, look at Colin Bollinger out there. Is that the Dr. Doom paint scheme that Bollinger has run with us this season, Chris? Your vision's better than mine.
Yeah, that is the Dr. Doom paint scheme, and a lot of attention around Dr. Doom as the Marvel film series approaches closer and closer to the appearance of Dr. Doom in the upcoming Avengers movie.
And
very excited about that.
Who is Dr. Doom? Who's playing Dr. Doom?
Robert Downey Jr., and there's all kinds of theories out there about why he is the one who is portraying. I'm a little bit out of touch. I haven't seen the last couple Marvel movies. I need to get caught up, but I will definitely get caught up by the time that this movie releases.
Be looking forward to that one as well. Hey, Zach White in the chat saying, Gallows, true Italian ran family shop. Are you from Atlanta? Is that the Atlanta area, Gallows, Zach? Let us know in the chat. Chris, battle going on for 10th position. Tommy Ryan, Derek Jewett. This one's heating up down the front straightaway right now. You can see Tommy Ryan, who's fast last week. He's showing even more speed this week, making that move down to the inside. Derek Jewett just going to kind of casually maybe slide back down the track, letting that number 99, who's showing some speed here, climb up to the 9th position. Tommy started all the way back in 21st, so one of the biggest movers of the night in that number 99 machine, Tommy Ryan, all the way up to 9th position. 12 spots gained on the track right now.
Yeah, a great recovery because we saw him spinning off turn 2 earlier after some contact with Stephen Gill, I believe it was. And, those drivers went spinning down to the infield off of turn number 2. He's been able to recover. And as you mentioned, Ellis, we've seen him with a lot of speed. Hasn't been racing with us too long. I think his first race was the Talladega race a couple of weeks ago. He's doing a nice job tonight. Made a nice recovery. He and Jeff Ryan are still on the track. We saw both of them involved in that crash. Jeff in the 14th position and Tommy here in the 9th position.
So they probably, let's see. Yep, Jeff. Sorry about that. I was looking at my telemetry wrong. I'm just looking through the field right now. You know, we talked a lot about the Championship 4, but we're trying to shout out some other drivers. You mentioned Trevor Hunt. He's also up 10 positions. He's in the 12th position right now in that number 59 machine. rolling around there. I'm wondering if there's a relation with Caleb Hunt. Let us know in the chat if you know if those two are related, Caleb Hunt and Trevor Hunt in that number 59. I know we got some Hunt fans in the chat. We got Alex Monet to subscribe. All right, man, I appreciate that. Daytona saying this stage is off to a good start. Hopefully they did not just put the jinx on us right here as we work lap 123, 77 laps left for the championship here in Homestead-Miami. Sun is setting, Chris. You can see it now. The lights have come on. Is the handling of these race cars about to change? And is this race about to be turned upside down as we watch Adam Holston try to work his way by Tommy Ryan to get back to 9th? Or is that the other way around? Ryan working his way by Adam Holston on the outside.
Yeah, that's the battle for 8th right there, and I question whether or not the handling is going away on the 8 machine with that damage to the rear bumper. It's just hard to say how much it's affecting the speed for Adam Holston. We'll have to see right here when he decides to do on this pit stop. We're still a ways away from when they'll have to pit, Ellis. I think at this stage right here, you are starting to see some variations in speed, though, between these machines. Tyler Stevenson is up here in the 2nd position. A great recovery for the 98. I've been meaning to mention that from his troubles early on right there, as we do have a pit stop right here. That's Brad T. Nelson. But Stevenson is slowly but surely, he's cut about a couple tenths out of the lead of Christian Barnes. And Evan Janik, likewise, is putting a little bit of pressure on Stevenson, cutting into that gap for the battle for 2nd.
Yeah, and right now those drivers are running faster laps than your leader, Christian Barnes. That time by Tyler Stevenson was the fastest car on the track. We're about to get a new reading on that. It was a 35.0 by Stevenson and a 35.1. They're now 4 to 3/10 faster than the leader, and that gap has shrunk to just 1.8 seconds. And they're starting to work their way through some lap traffic, including Michael Wade riding currently on board with Tyler Stevenson. Chris, walk us through a lap here as we ride on board that number 98 machine.
Yeah, and Tyler Stevenson's running right where I like to run right here at Homestead, Ellis. He's running right on the bottom lane. And Ellis, this is a track that's different than a lot of other mile and a halves. You do have the progressive banking going on as well, as we got a battle going on for the 6th spot right here. And that's actually, I know that's Jacob Cochran, excuse me. Jacob Cochran is on pit road, Ellis. We'll come back to that around that lap right there, but that's a big development. That's one of our championship drivers electing to come to pit road here with about 63 laps to go in the race. I think he thinks he can make it to the end of this thing, and if it goes green, Ellis, he's going to have a significant advantage right here, lap time-wise, on these fresh tires.
He is going to pick up at least a second a lap, and this could be a big swing. The question is, will it be a swing and a home run or a swing and the miss for the number 84? We're now 35 laps into this pit cycle. We mentioned we thought drivers could make it anywhere between 60 and 65 laps. So, of course, Cochran's window is, Brad Nelson right in front of Jacob Cochran.
Right in front.
Big moment for one of the championship drivers. Crisis has been averted, but my goodness, did Jacob Cochran's night almost go up in smoke? One car in the wall right for them, Evan Janik. Engine troubles for the number 71. That is a championship contender who's going to try to make it down pit road. What has happened? Night has ended up in disaster for Evan Janik. Chris, green flag is still out.
The green flag is still out right here. Yeah, we'll go back right here. I think it might have been a driver coming off of pit road that made some contact. Let's watch Evan Janik right here. That's Caleb Hunt just coming off of pit road, and he's on fresh tires, cold tires entering turn 3, and I think he's going to touch the, he touched the white line down there. That car got sideways, and it sends Janik up into the wall. Heavy contact to that 71 machine. He has crawled down pit road. He has taken his tires. He has taken a quick repair. It has hurt his time, but that could have been so much worse. Yes. I think he's going to be okay.
Boy, if Evan Janik wins the championship, which he still can, that is going to be a moment we look back to where heads-up driving and a driver who is known for maintaining that calm and cool kind of demeanor throughout the race, he is going to prove himself there. That is a moment where a champion certainly could be made. fighting through adversity, and you mentioned it, Chris, he did lose time, but that was not as near as a disaster as it initially looked to be for that number 71 in the chat right now popping off there. Connor is not happy about it. I know he's a Janik fan, not happy about what happened. And Don Maximum Sports Network said, smart of him to just not stop on the track. Yeah, he was trying to get down pit road. So, boy, big moment there. And let's revisit the story we were talking about before that. Jacob Cochran was the first car to come down pit road in terms of cars that are in the championship hunt. Currently, Cochran is sitting in the 12th position. He has the freshest tires, four laps on that tire cycle right now. Evan Janik, 15th, 3 spots behind him. But you mentioned it, Chris, this is going to be a big advantage if this thing were to go green, because right now, Jacob Cochran is running about, I'm trying to look at the lap times here, about 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds faster.
Yeah, that's a significant advantage here at Homestead. There's a big difference in lap time between old tires and new tires here. And yes, he's making up just handfuls of time on the leader right here, Christian Barnes. Now, Barnes might be okay with that. He might be okay giving up this time right here because, as you know, Ellis, this is going to have to swing back in the other direction right here when Barnes comes to pit road. So Christian might be deciding right here that he's going to try to run this thing out a few more laps and then try to put himself in a big tire advantage on the 84. Once this all cycles through and all of these drivers have to come to pit road, we're going to see that 84 machine of Jacob Cochran in the lead of this thing. The question is, will he be able to build up enough of an advantage to hold on to the lead? It's going to be tough for him to do so. I think the bigger story right now is possibly going to be the battle for the lead right here in the next lap or two. Tyler Stevenson is making up a lot of ground on Christian Barnes. That 98 machine is very quick right now.
Yeah, that number 98 running about a tenth a lap faster than Barnes. Just about 10 laps ago, it was 1.8 seconds. It's now down the gap, that is, to 0.6 seconds. So really splitting it in in 2/3 here. And watch the corner speed, the corner tracker, as we ride on board with Tyler Stevenson. This is a comparison to how he's running in all 3 segments of the corner compared to the competitor, Christian Barnes, in front of him. And green is good, yellow not as good. What part of the track right now is Tyler Stevenson really doing the best at, Chris?
Yeah, it's that roll speed right in the center of the corner. A little bit slower down here in 3 and 4. A little bit different end. I know they look similar, but they definitely drive differently. We'll see it down here in turns 1 and 2. This is where I always want to be fast on the long run, Ellis. If I can continue to roll the bottom, they both kind of miss it a little bit right here, but it looks like maybe that's intentional right here for Stevenson. Look at the difference in roll speed right there in the center as one car around the outside, that's Gavin Henson on fresh tires. He's going to go around Stevenson. I always want to be fast right in the center of the corner, rolling back to that throttle, Ellis, and it looks like Stevenson is really, really fast right there.
Stevenson really fast. Now just about 8 car lengths from the back bumper of Christian Barnes. 2, now 3 more tenths clawed out of that lead. Tyler Stevenson is certainly showing his speed on the long run here. Just 60-odd laps remaining in the championship finale from Miami. Currently, the top 4 contenders, Christian Barnes, he is your leader. You got to go back to 5th to find Adam Holston, with Jacob Cochran in 9th position and Evan Janik in 11th. So almost all drivers inside the top 10 right now, and Evan Janik only out of it because of that near catastrophe just about 5 laps ago. And now that lead is shrunk down to 3 tenths, Chris. Tyler Stevenson is clawing away at that lead. The Jaws music has been cued. He smells blood in the water. That is Christian Barnes right now.
Yeah, he definitely does, and that car is just rotating very nicely through the corner right there. You can just see that you don't even have to look at the ticker to see the difference in the center of the corner speed. Christian Barnes elected maybe to go a little bit harder right there on that run, and I mentioned before about the advantage of having clean air, and there is an advantage, but you can still abuse your tires as Stevenson is sideways off turn 4. He's going to collect it, though, but he's going to give up a lot of time in the process. It could have been worse, though. He could have been head-on in the inside wall.
Oh!
That was close with Evan Janik there.
Evan Janik on fresh tires. Really, it's go time for Janik. He can't afford to wait on Tyler Stevenson nor anyone else, including the leader Christian Barnes, that he is slowly closing in on. Now, I should say quickly closing in on, trying to get his lap back the hard way right now, especially if a caution were to come out. This would be big for Janik, about to get by Christian Barnes, and that's not going to be enough to get. That's not a battle for the lead. Let's not make a mistake here. Evan Janik has already come down pit road for what we believe, if it runs clean and green all night, the rest of the night will be the final pit stop. So he's done on pit stops for the night. If we were to run this thing out green, Janik just trying to get back to the front now on the lead lap again. Just 60 laps left here, and still waiting on Christian Barnes to come down pit road. We're about 3/4 of the way through the tire life cycle. Johnny, I'm curious if we were to do a tire analysis, kind of tire wear, if we're seeing any wear on that number 71, or sorry, the number 84, I should say, of Jacob Cochran. You can see pretty low wear, minimal. Not fully calculating yet because he's already come down pit road. One car right behind him off the wall just a little bit. But I suppose if you were to go to Christian Barnes, we might see, his lap times maybe not have fallen off as much as we thought they would. Barnes doing a pretty good job right now. And you see him, Chris, he's starting to stretch it out over the number 98 again. Did the 98 use up what he had?
Well, that slide off of turn 4, that's going to take some speed out of the car. That's going to, get that right rear tire hot right there. So it's going to take him a couple laps. Just taking it easy for a few laps. You don't want to slip anymore. And what I mean by that, you don't want to have that right rear slip out any more than what it did before. Because that's just going to generate more and more heat. So I think what you're going to see right here is maybe him trying to overdrive the entry a little bit to try to put a little bit more heat in that right front tire. And try to keep some of the wear and some of the heat off of the right rear. We did have one driver come to pit road. I just want to make mention very quickly of Colin Bollinger. He was another driver who elected to come to pit road. And you mentioned it, Ellis. That's a big pass that Evan Janik made to get back on the lead lap. Put he and Justin Hendry in front of the leader. So if the caution does come out, those drivers right now, they don't have to take the free pass. They don't have to take the wave around. They're going to find themselves back on the lead lap, and that is that's a significant turn of events for those drivers right there. I think that we're going to see Christian Barnes run this thing out, Ellis. I think he's going to go as long as he can right here and rely on that lap speed right there in the closing stages of this race.
Yeah, I think, again, if you're tuning in right now, whether you just tuned in or you've been watching all night long, do not go anywhere. That sun has started to set. Track conditions are changing, and this thing is going to be as unpredictable as you might imagine. Thanks, Don's Maximum Sports Network, for the super chat. Wondering who won the truck race last night. I believe it was Christian Barnes who took home the championship with it as well for the Black Diamond Designs Truck Series that Mystic Racing League runs on Wednesday evenings. If we're wrong and you know in the chat, let us know. Zach White talking about Reggie Kime rarely having luck on his side. Currently, Kime running back in the 19th position. Shout out to Reggie in that number 9 machine, who has just really been a force all season long, shows up and finishes these races, whether he's running the top 10 or a little bit further back. That number 99, that number 9 machine showing some support for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Running in 19th. I know that's not the night Reggie wanted, but still out there, 8 laps down, giving it his all right now in that number 9, finishing the season strong. You can't ask for much more than that. Just 54 laps remaining here in Miami. Your top 5 as they run. Tommy Ryan in first is your leader. Christian Barnes, we mentioned Christian as well. Tyler Stevenson now in third. Trevor Hunt fourth. Adam Holston in 5th. And yeah, Chris, look at these differences on speed as we watch Christian Barnes there try to work his way through a little bit of traffic. Tyler Stevenson, now Alex Pollock. The battle is for second between Barnes and Stevenson works his way right by Barnes, who might fight back here down the backstretch with a big old run off of turn 2.
Yeah, he might fight back right here, but I think that we missed something that happened right here. Tommy Ryan has the lead. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess that we missed all that in all the chaos right here. This is the battle right here for second right here. Barnes and Stevenson battling it out right here, and Stevenson's going to get around Barnes.
Yeah, that's his. The battle is going on all over the place. I'm trying to figure out Tommy Ryan. He's on 53-lap-old tires just like everyone else. So suddenly,
he's just been
this
fast.
number 99 has found some speed, shot out of a rocket ship here on the late goings of this stage. And let's set this situation up, because I don't think this is one we should sleep on. It is going to be a long run. We suspect about 50 laps for most drivers, 50 to 40 laps on tires. And this is right when this number 99 started to get fast. So keep an eye, especially if he's one of the first of these top 5 to come down pit road with an added advantage. You could be looking at a threat for the win here, kind of coming out of nowhere. The ultimate dark horse, Tommy Ryan, in just his second or third Mystic Racing League Xfinity Series start here. That 99, boy, we talked about him recovering, but this is quite the recovery.
Yeah, a great drive right here and great speed on the long run for Tommy Ryan. I went back and watched it, and yeah, he just did a nice job of working his way through there. And yeah, he did it on the top side, and that car's got a lot of speed right there as Michael Wade on fresh tires is going to work his way around. Yeah, he's only got 2 lap fresher tires than Stevenson and Barnes. That's because with that quick caution, he came to pit road. So not a significant advantage for him. So a lot of speed for Tommy right here. I do want to clean one thing up, Ellis. We made note of that number 84 of Jacob Cochran, that we thought he could make it to the end of this thing. He absolutely cannot. Math is not one of my strong suits, and he came to pit road with 73 laps to go instead of 63 laps to go. So my mistake. I apologize for that. And yeah, he's going to have to come to pit road one more time, we think, based upon the numbers we received in the pre-race.
So you imagine, is that 84 counting on a late race caution potentially that could see him kind of vaulted in the running order, and then everyone having to come down pit road under caution potentially? Yeah. There's 93. Tyler Stevenson is now coming down pit road. The 98, I should say, of Tyler Stevenson has hit pit road on lap 151. Just 49 laps left in this championship finale. We're down to the final 25% of this race. This is going to be the final pit stop. We can guarantee that if things go green the rest of the way. The 98 is done for the night on the pit cycle here. He works his way down the backstretch, and again, we're in the middle of this pit cycle. You have to go all the way back, really, I suppose, to 7th Justin Hendry to find the first driver that has kind of pit during this pit cycle that we are in. We've got a couple drivers who are on 25, 27 lap old tires.
Christian Barnes.
Christian Barnes. Down pit road in that number 27. He's been the fastest of the championship 4 all night. This could be the final pit stop, the money stop for the number 27. He's going to have to be careful not to slide it too far into his pit stall and not too close to that wall to optimize his pit stop time. Here he comes to the attention of his pit crew. First stall on pit road.
Yeah, he did a nice job right there, nice and clean, getting onto pit road, not taking any chances. When Stevenson made his pit stop, I feel like this put a lot of pressure on Christian Barnes to make his stop. Again, he's not really racing Stevenson for the championship right here, but those two were really close on speed right here. I feel like Tommy Ryan, with the speed he has on the long run, I feel like Ryan probably has a little bit more possibility to run a little bit further right here, though I don't think he can go that much further because of just how much fuel he's got in the tank. But yeah, I think that Christian Barnes probably feeling very confident considering the strategy that Jacob Cochran is employing versus what he's doing.
Yeah, this is quite a variety of pit strategies that I don't know if I expected for this thing to come down to strategy like it appears like it very well could. With just 45 laps left, we're in the middle of a pit cycle where you got multiple drivers with multiple strategies watching this battle down the backstretch as they head down into turn number 1. That is Tyler Stevenson working his way by a few cars in that number 98. And boy, I think here comes Tommy Ryan down pit road in that 99, slides his tires. He might not have made it. We're going to have to wait to see if that number 99 did make pit road speed. It's going to be close.
Yeah, he goes getting everything he could right here there, getting onto pit road. He knows that Stevenson and Barnes were making use of those new tires right there. So talking about the race for the win, we're going to have to see where Tommy Ryan sort of shakes out of this thing right here. Jacob Cochran is going to be in the lead of this thing by coming to pit road when he did. We're also going to be watching Ryan in comparison to Tyler Stevenson. Stevenson right here is working his way through turns 1 and 2, and that's going to put Tommy Ryan behind him. So Ryan is going to lose significant time to Stevenson in the 98. But I'm not surprised at all to see Ryan want to play the long game right there with the speed we saw out of the 99 earlier.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. So to reset things here, if you are watching and you're lost or you're tuning in for the first time just in the last couple of minutes, championship finale, and we've got a variety of pit strategies kind of setting up here. Jacob Cochran came in 30 laps ago. If you look on the left, he is scored as your leader in that number 84. He cannot make it to the checkered flag on this tank of fuel. He's hoping for a caution after everyone else has pit that would allow him to come down and get the fuel and potentially tires he needs to make it. And I think as we watch, you can definitely see that number 84 trying to hold on and save as much tire as he can. You got to go back to fourth to find Evan Janik, who, Chris, maybe by no choice of his own, is on a similar strategy to Jacob Cochran, but it was because things went south when Janik got into the back of another car and then went into the wall. That sent him down pit road, got the quick repair, got his tires, but it put him in a situation where we don't believe he can make it either. One car in trouble on the front straightaway gathers it back up. But Janik and Cochran, I'm feeling like, are on the same strategy. They're hoping for a late race caution. If you're going back to Adam Holston, he has also come down pit road, Chris, 11 laps on those tires. That would put him on lap road. He can make it.
So he gets sideways off turn 4. He saved it, though.
Oh,
but you were talking about him, Ellison. He almost sent it into the inside wall.
The commentator's curse almost struck there again. But I'm feeling like I like where Adam Holston is right now. I don't think he's in a bad position. I'm looking at things in I'm not good at this stuff, but I think he's set up for the best position right now. He's got about a second lead on 7/10 lead on Christian Barnes. If he can manage his tires, I like where that 8 is sitting.
Yeah, the only thing I think that's going to work in his disadvantage right now is Barnes has about 7 lap fresher tires, 6 or 7 lap fresher tires. Just looking at the lap times right here, Barnes is pretty fast. He's a good bit faster right now than the number 8 machine. So I think Adam's going to definitely gain some track position with this call. You see the center of the corner speed right there for Barnes. He's going to complete the pass right here. But I think Holston's going to be closer to Barnes because of this call right here than what he was before. And also, I think, very importantly, Ellis, he has gotten the damage on that rear bumper fixed. Have to see maybe if that was affecting his lap times right there. I have to think that it was probably hurting the handling of that car. Looks like it might be handling a little bit better now.
And you can see Barnes and Stevenson running a similar pace right now. So lots of action going on the track. I don't think we're going to know how this is going to fall. Who's going to win this championship? Probably until all 4 cars cross the start-finish line based on what we are seeing so far. Folks, if you are watching at home, please, please, please do not go anywhere. In fact, send someone our way. If you can send someone, we've had people sending people all night. We'll throw a bonus point or 2 into the leaderboard for that Juan Pablo Montoya diecast. Currently, Daytona is winning that, but Ricky LaFleur and Don Maximum Sports Network are not far behind in that battle. You can get in it too. If you send a friend and get them to let us know you sent them, we'll throw some points on the leaderboard for the chat your way, so you could potentially win that Juan Pablo Montoya diecast. And look at that battle. Jacob Cochran working his way down the backstretch, currently scored as your leader. That car behind him, not on the same lap, that 03 of Stephen Gill hounding that 84, but that is not a battle for position. Don Maximum Sports Network saying they want to see Tyler Stevenson pull the upset and win. And I'm just looking at lap times right now, Chris, and currently the fastest car on the track looks like it is Tyler Stevenson based on everything I am seeing. No, Christian Barnes, I take that back. Christian Barnes has turned up the wick. He got by Holston, and now Christian Barnes is the fastest car on the track. You can see a wide open view in front of him. That's got to be what he loves to see as he just worked his way by Gavin Henson, who is a lap down. And Chris, I keep on saying it, I can't imagine a better way to finish this season with just, it's looking like it's going to come down to the wire. Gavin Henson almost got the wall there. You saw it. Before we have to really get into the weeds here and the thick of things with 35 laps left, Connor has been begging for it all night, Johnny. And you race fans watching the chat, Connor, his favorite tradition here, besides the national anthem, is the crank it up, where we hit the wall cams and turn the volume up. So if you're watching at home and you don't want to hear the loud boom boom noises, turn it down. But if you want to hear those engines roar, turn it up. We're going to go, but crank it up for just a lap or two. Don't go anywhere. One car sideways on the front straightaway. I believe it was the number 16 potentially of Aaron Espy or Justin Hendry, maybe.
Yeah, I thought that it was actually Gavin Henson, but I was mistaken. One car was sideways. We thought the caution might come out right there. We'll go right here and see. No, I think the Espy was on pit road, so there was one car that was sideways. But they've collected it right here, and we're still green right here, so it definitely could have been bad for some of these drivers as Jacob Cochran is on pit road receiving service.
Jacob Cochran, your one of your championship 4 on pit road receiving service, out now in that number 84, back to 9th position. That is going to be his final stop of the night if things run their course over the next 30 laps or so. He's done for the night. We believe Christian Barnes is also done for the night, as is Adam Holston, and likely is Evan Janik, who came down pit road just 1 lap after Jacob Cochran. So your championship 4 all currently run in the top 10 right now. Colin Bollinger, Tyler Stevenson, those are your top 2. They are not championship 4 contenders, but they have had speed over the course of the entire evening. You have to go back to 3rd to find Christian Barnes, who is the current championship 4 leader. 30 laps from now, he could be looking at his 2nd title in 2 nights, in 5th or 4th overall in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Headed down into turn number 1 there, you can see Christian Barnes making it look easy here. Chris, you were talking about how much you like that number 27 and his odds if this thing plays out green for the rest of the race.
Yeah, I do like his odds. We're going to have to watch the difference in lap time between Jacob Cochran and Christian Barnes right here over the course of this run right here. Cochran coming to pit road along with Evan Janik. Those drivers right there, we're going to have to watch and see how they compare to each other. This last time by, Christian Barnes ran a 34.733 compared to the number 84 running a 33.530. About a second, a little over a second difference between them. And right now with 30 laps to go, Jacob Cochran is 28 seconds behind Christian Barnes. So at that pace right there, he will catch him by the end of this thing. Now, here's the thing, Ellis. Can he maintain that same difference? Can he maintain that same advantage in lap time? I think that's going to be the struggle possibly for Jacob Cochran. Not saying he's not capable of doing it. He definitely is, but as the tires begin to get more and more laps on them, the lap time advantage that you has, it begins to shrink and shrink and shrink. So we'll have to watch these lap times on these two drivers over the course of this final run.
And, of course, a monkey wrench could be thrown in all of this if a caution were to come out in the final 28 laps of this race. So, by no means do we have this thing figured out. Sure, Christian Barnes and Jacob Cochran look good right now, but that could change at any moment because Collins Bollinger is now your leader, and they're going to have to catch Bollinger. He is 33 laps into this stint, and he, I believe, should be able to make it right to the checkered flag if this thing runs green until the end. You really got to go all the way back. I'm just looking to Tommy Ryan find the driver on the freshest tires. He's sitting in 4th position. So keep an eye on the strategy, folks. It is not over at all. I'm just looking through the rest of the field for drivers that have run good seasons that we haven't talked about a lot tonight. I know Caleb Hunt jumped out of the race a little bit earlier. He has been a determined force all season long. We got to give a shout out to that 78. We can confirm that the other Hunt in this race is not related. We had Ricky, who is the grandfather of Caleb Hunt, confirmed that he does not know another grandson. So we believe the other Hunt is no relation to, and that's Trevor Hunt, who's currently running in 6th right now in that number 59. So Trevor Hunt, good night, started 22nd, and he is up in that SimuCube number 59 machine, currently running in the 5th or 6th position. So good night for Trevor right now, crossing the line onto lap 175.
Yep, a great
active
run.
Chat going right now, Chris. Mystic Racing League always has something to look forward to, is what Daytona says in the chat. Folks talking about what a great race it has been so far. And Don Maximum Sports Network saying Stevenson was better than Barnes in the last pit cycle in the long run. Bollinger's really holding on to that lead, though. And then Caleb Hunt says, Ricky is not my grandfather. Wait, he said, what? I'm confused about the family lineage of these people right now. Someone said they were your granddaddy. I don't know who it was, but Caleb Hunt, sort this family tree business out right now, please. Just 25 laps remaining. You're watching Tyler Stevenson slowly eating into the lead of Colin Bollinger. That is a battle for the win in the last 25 laps here. Similar pace based on the battle box, but Chris, that number 98 machine was a lightning bolt on the long run, the last run. Can we expect to see something similar this time?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to possibly see that right there, and he does have the advantage of having about 11 lap fresher tires, so we see right here the last lap, and this is kind of the point that I was getting to earlier, that Jacob Cochran, I think this is where he might run into some trouble. We see how those two right here have kind of evened out right here at this stage of the run. Even though there's about 10 lap fresher tires for Stevenson, they're running similar lap times. And Stevenson is still faster, just, barely. Actually, that time by, he was a little bit slower right there. So, yeah, I think that if Colin Bollinger is going to win this thing, he's going to have to go through Tyler Stevenson. And I think that Jacob Cochran is going to have to be mindful of, his lap time right here and trying to maintain that pace that he's currently been on.
Oh, boy. Adam Holston right in front of all this almost had a moment with the car in front of him. I believe that was Michael Wade in that 3 machine. That was a tight moment, but we made it through it all right. Holston currently running in the 5th position, and you mentioned it, Chris. Nothing is out of the question yet. Anything can happen. Got folks talking about a caution would really turn this thing upside down in the chat right now. Just 20-odd laps remaining. Getting down to the final 10 minutes or so of this championship finale. If this thing were to go green the rest of the way, 32 races this season, and it is all going to come down to the final 20 laps. Can Adam Holston do anything to get by Christian Barnes for the championship? We're going to keep an eye on speed. Right now, Christian Barnes looking like he's in the catbird seat if a caution were not to come out. And you're watching right now the battle down the front straightaway. Adam Holston. If you're Adam Holston, how are you balancing kind of not wearing out your tires right now? You want to lay chase, but you got to just kind of hold out hope that you can hold on to your tires. How difficult is that as a driver?
Well, it's difficult, but I think that Adam's just he's kind of in no man's land right here, unfortunately, with where he's at right now with 20 laps to go. He's currently sitting about 12 seconds behind Christian Barnes, his closest championship competitor. 3 seconds, it looks like, behind him is Jacob Cochran coming on those very fresh tires. So, yeah, he's just got to maintain where he's at right here. We think, based upon our fuel numbers, that Adam is not going to have any trouble making it to the end of the race on fuel right here. But I think that he is probably hoping for a caution right here in these final 20 laps of the race.
Just 20 laps remaining. Now 19 laps remaining. You're watching Adam Holston. If you're joining us, let's just recap what's happening here. We've set up for kind of a pit strategy deciding the ultimate winner and maybe even the champion here. Colin Bollinger, Tyler Stevenson are on older tires. Christian Barnes, however, just now 2.8 seconds back on these guys with now 17 laps left. Barnes is your first championship contender in that number 27 machine, trying to not only win the championship, but also win the race in doing so. He's got Tommy Ryan about 4 seconds behind him. And then you got to go all the way back about 14 seconds to find Adam Holston, Jacob Cochran, and Evan Janik in 6th, 7th, and 8th. So, again, anything can happen here, but Christian Barnes is liking what he is seeing right now. Daytona saying, I hope there is not a caution. They want to see how it plays out without a caution. Don Maximum Sports Network, we appreciate you. Great stream. We appreciate you being here as well. The chat is making it interesting for sure. Ricky LaFleur says starting to get boring. Christian Barnes is making it a little bit boring here. Don't worry, anything could happen here, Ricky. Aaron Smith also in the chat as well. Just 15 laps left now, almost 15 and a half laps left here from Miami Speedway. If you're watching in the chat right now, Daytona currently the leader on the fan points for the Juan Montoya diecast, but Ricky LaFleur just 10 points out with Don Maximum Sports Network not too far behind them. You got 3 chatters really in the running to win the Juan Pablo Montoya diecast here. Looking for other action on the track, Chris. Folks have kind of settled down, just maybe looking to make it the final 15 laps here. It's been a long night. The sun is finally pretty much all the way down here. Jacob Cochran is trying everything he's got to hold on to these tires, but also put himself in a position. How likely is it, and I know NASCAR fans hate when the commentators start talking about a caution, but how likely is it that this late in a run we could see a caution with drivers kind of as separated as they are right now?
Yeah, the odds way closer to no caution here at Homestead. Just the type of racing here is, I say that as Adam Holston he does make some contact with Reggie Kime off turn 4. I had my eyes right on that when that occurred, but they worked it out right there. And yeah, I think the odds are closer that, we don't see any caution at all in the final closing stages of this thing. So yeah, I think the race for the championship is going to be the closing rate that we see between Barnes and Cochran is starting to narrow a little bit, Ellis. It's starting to that closing rate is not as significant as what we saw earlier in the race. I think a significant story that we need to keep our eyes on. I know we want to keep our eyes on the championship battle, but also the battle for the win. Tommy Ryan is very fast right now, as far as drivers that I think could possibly do something with the race leader. Tommy Ryan in the 4th spot, a little less than 5 seconds behind the race leader. That time by was significantly faster than the top 3. So watching the battle for the championship and also watching the battle for the race win. There's a lot going on out here.
There is a lot going on. I have a feeling we're going to be talking to a lot of folks tonight when this thing is over. Hey, in the chat right now, If you can unscramble that word, first person to unscramble it and type the correct word into the chat is going to get a few bonus points on the leaderboard. So unscramble that word. First one to do it in the chat is going to get some bonus points as well. The 99, Tommy Ryan, we've talked about him being fast. 4.5 seconds off the lead right now, closing the gap. But it's all about Colin Bollinger right now. In that number 53, he is scored as your leader. Dr. Doom himself, multi-time Mystic Racing League Octane Outlaws Cup Series winner, looking for another win here. He's got about 1.8 seconds, a gap between him and Tyler Stevenson with just over 10 laps left. Looking to play the spoiler here on championship night in Miami. Bollinger has run about 5 to 6 races over the course of the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. And he's won one race earlier at the beginning of this season, looking to replicate that tonight here in Homestead-Miami. He is your leader, but Chris, I'm looking at it. Tyler Stevenson starting to close just a little bit here, and Tommy Ryan also has speed. I think with 10 laps to go, we might be seeing 4 drivers fighting for the win before all is said and done. You can see now Tyler Stevenson's got Christian Barnes breathing down his throat. In that time by, Tommy Ryan still the fastest, but Christian Barnes second fastest, Chris.
Yeah, Christian Barnes did tag the wall about a lap and a half ago off of turn number 4. Everything is fine on that car, but he's definitely pushing it right here as he sees that number 98 machine up ahead, just putting one more car between himself and Jacob Cochran. Doesn't matter for points, just matters for, one more obstacle that Jacob Cochran would have to pass, though I think that is becoming a moot point right here, Ellis, in the final closing stages. Christian Barnes has a pretty healthy lead over Jacob Cochran, and yeah, it's looking more and more difficult for these drivers who are chasing Christian Barnes right here. He is able to maintain his pace right here pretty well, and he's probably feeling very confident right here with just 9 laps to go with about a 13-second lead over Jacob Cochran.
Yeah, if you're Christian Barnes, you just got to think about maintaining and probably being conservative here. But again, 10 laps, now 9 laps left, a caution could come out. I promise, we're not hoping for it here in the booth, but we got to remind you at home that this thing is not over. As much of a sealed deal as it might look for Christian Barnes, don't count any of these other drivers out. Ricky LaFleur just put the jinx on him. He said he has it. I don't know. We'll see. Keep those comments coming in the chat right now. Adam Holston, or Holston Racing, I should say, got the word scramble point. Champion was the word in that word scramble. So great job for Holston Racing. Yeah. Again, it has been a long race, and it's going to come down. Chris, Tyler Stevenson shoot about 3-4 tenths out of the lead that time by. Christian Barnes about 10 car lengths off of his back bumper, and Colin Bollinger starting to slow down, Chris, and Tyler Stevenson starting to gain speed. So I'm curious if we might get the battle box. There it is. Johnny read my mind. 14 laps. Maybe it's not enough speed, but let's keep an eye on that battle box for the next couple of laps. Stevenson hangs it out off a turn 2, sideways, doing everything he can to chase this win. And you can see we'll get a new update on this when they cross the line. But folks, if you're just joining us, Derek in the chat, appreciate you joining in as well. He's rooting on Christian Barnes. It is not over, certainly for the win or the championship. Tyler Stevenson just 1.3 seconds, and there, Chris, you saw it change a little bit. Bollinger picked up the pace. Maybe he's listening. Maybe he's reading the relatives. Yeah. Maybe his crew chief's talking to him. The pace has picked up, and Bollinger is now running the fastest times on the track, except Christian Barnes might be getting faster now.
Well, yeah, and see, the 98 machine of Stevenson had that slide off of turn 2. He's giving it everything he has, but unfortunately that slide, I think, cost him a lot of time on that previous lap. We're going to get a look at it right here. I think that this lap right here is probably going to be very comparable between the two of them. They're probably going to run very similar lap times. Yeah, they're pretty close right here that time by. About a 10th difference between the two of them. That's not going to be enough, though, with just 5 laps to go.
Not going to be enough. Daytona, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Wait for a second. Wait for a second. Chris, I'll let you fill for just a second if you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. And right here, we're watching Adam Holston right here in that number 8 machine just behind. That's the number 28 machine of Jeff Ryan, the other Ryan that's in the field right here. He has worked his way around Holston, and Holston now under pressure right here. Also, that is Derek Jewett. I believe, no, that's actually Reggie Kime right there working to the inside. Adam Holston running in the 10th spot right now. Did a yeoman's job tonight. Great effort out of Adam Holston. Tags the wall right there off of turn number 4. A great season for him. It's going to come up a little bit short right here tonight if this thing stays green, but definitely can't fault Adam Holston for the great season that he's had right here in that number 8 machine.
Yeah, he has had a great season. Mr. Consistency, as we refer to him in that opening package. Off the wall there, Holston. Another car off the wall right behind him. The handling definitely starting to go away on these race cars. And Chris, the handling might be going away on that 53 because just in the last lap or two, the number 98 machine of Tyler Stevenson picking up 2/10 of a lap every single, 2/10 of a second every single lap. And boy, this is going to come down to the wire. Just 2 laps to go. Can Tyler Stevenson have anything for Colin Bollinger? The gap is closing. White flag's going to come out next time by. And look at the difference in lines. 98 of Stevenson's running the top. Bollinger seems to be committed to the bottom. Stevenson's chewing about 1/10 of a lap every corner here. Now down to just 4/10 of a lap. He's going to be there at the white flag.
And Christian Barnes is right behind these guys, and Christian just needs to be careful right here. These drivers could get together right here, racing for the win. If I'm Christian Barnes, I might just back out of the throttle right here as they're going to take the white flag.
White flag is out. Barnes got into that. Bollinger got through all the 98. Tyler Stevenson door slams the 58. Down into turn 1. Side by side. It's a battle for the win. Bollinger to the outside. Stevenson makes the pass to the inside. Down the backstretch for the last time.
Yeah, these drivers right here racing for the win. Our championship leader right behind them, side by side for the win. Who's going to get to the line first?
Bollinger bumps the 98 of Stevenson. Down into turn number 3. Can Barnes pull off a miracle here? Or Stevenson might hold on to it. Tyler Stevenson wins the finale at Homestead. The number 27 of Christian Barnes is your champion here in the 2025 season. Wow, what a finish, folks. Tyler Stevenson wins, Bollinger second, Christian Barnes third, and also your champion. We're going to pull away for just a second to get Christian Barnes in the interview booth on the front straightaway to get that instant reaction from the champion. Hang tight, folks. Back here live in Miami, there is your 2025 Fall Creek Plumbing National Series champion, Christian Barnes. Does it 2 nights in a row. Christian, we got you in the interview booth, man. What are the emotions right now? Congratulations.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Holy crap. Wow. Man, I've been chasing this Xfinity one for years, man, and that last giant run, I was just praying no caution, Man, yeah, I don't know what to say.
Well, let's talk about your night. Over the course of the evening, you led, you were further back. It came down to pit strategy. What prompted you to make that call that put you on that pit strategy at the end that really put you in the best situation to kind of be at the front of the championship for?
Yeah, on that first run, I knew that I had a really good long run car compared to the other three, and I heard that Cochran pitted early, so he would have to do the 2-stop, and I didn't really trust that. And I heard that Janik had some kind of issue where he had to pit early as well, so I just felt like they were kind of out of it unless something crazy happened, and I knew I was racing Adam at that point on the 1-stop, and I felt like I was far enough ahead that even if he pitted early, that I'd have the better tires to chase him down, and somehow it played out exactly how I wanted it to, exactly how I needed it to, and it just worked out.
Man, you mentioned it. You've been chasing one of these Xfinity championships for a while. What's taking so long? What's different about these cars? We saw you win the championship last night in the Black Diamond Designs Truck Series. What makes these cars so different and maybe so difficult?
Yeah, they're a little bit looser. It puts it more into the driver's hands of kicking it out a little more. Gaining just that little bit of more speed, and I feel like the past 2 years I just haven't been aggressive enough to make that daring move to make it make the move when it really matters. And finally tonight I was as aggressive as I could be, and it just worked out.
Well, man, we are super proud of you up here. I know you were kind of not an afterthought, but you certainly weren't, I think, in a lot of people's conversation for the top 2 contenders, and you put us all to shame. You kind of embarrassed a lot of people here, and kudos to you to really sticking it out. We talked about just the consistent season you had. 2 wins on the Roval and the Oval at Charlotte, but just so consistent, and it's what put you into the Final Four, and you proved tonight exactly why you were here, and yeah, man, we could not be more excited for you and prouder of you. We're going to hear from you again in the championship trophy presentation here in just a few minutes, but we'll go let you celebrate with your teammates and friends right now.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris, we just heard from your champion on the front stretch. I'm going to let you take it away with Tyler Stevenson, the race winner. We'll pull him in here right now.
Tyler Stevenson, our race winner tonight. This is the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
I do, man. Oh my God.
Let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit right here, Tyler. You were fast all night. You made a heck of a recovery after some trouble earlier in the race, and you found yourself in position right there. Walk us through those final closing stages of the race. We saw you kicking that thing out sideways with about 6 or 7 laps to go, and buzzing those rear tires, and all of a sudden we looked up and there you were right behind Colin Bollinger. Take us on the ride that was that last lap from your perspective.
Yeah, like all day the bottom has just been the best line, and so I was just committed to that. But my car, man, I mean I was pushing it so hard that bottom was just not working. And I'm looking at my relative, and I see, I think it was Tommy Ryan. He was running that high line, and I'm like, I'm not going to win by just running the bottom behind him. And so with 2 or 3 laps to go, I just throw it up to the high line. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then I just see I'm making massive gains on him. And I'm like, let me just keep running this top. And I made the move down to the bottom of the white. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to hold the bottom the rest of the race. He gave me the shot, which I think was fair. I mean, it was a clean, try to bump me. I just kind of parked it on the bottom, and, I just gassed it, and I was shocked like everyone else that I won that race. I mean, with 3 laps to go, I thought, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get second, but I'm just, wow.
I was going to ask you about the contact right there, but yeah, you seemed to think that was fair, and you were able to hold on to it, did a masterful job collecting it in turns 3 and 4. Tell us about the challenges of running the top here at Homestead. We see in real life drivers running up there. How do these Xfinity cars here on iRacing react from running up on that top lane here at Homestead?
I mean, they're pretty good because they get good. They get like a good loose on the top where it's like loose enough you're not going to spin it, but it's loose enough that you can make the turn. It's hard to run the top. I mean, especially on what I had like 40, almost 50 lap old tires, it's even harder to run the top. Yeah. And it was a Hail Mary move for me to just go and run the top, and it paid off. But I've experienced running the top a lot, so I've had a lot of experience at this track, and that helped me there.
Well, you did an awesome job in the closing stages. Definitely made it exciting for us here in the broadcast booth. Before we let you go celebrate this win tonight in the season finale, do you have any shout-outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, I got David Dawn. He was cheering me on in the chat, so that gave me a lot of.
Oh, Don was awesome, man.
Yeah, he donated a little money too. So like, I mean, he's one of my friends. I mean, I got to give him a shout out. He was my biggest fan tonight, and Seth Heyman, he was in the race with me. Unfortunately, got caught up in a couple incidents, but I got to talk to him during the race, and he kind of cheered me on at the end there, so that was nice. But I'm excited for next season. This league is really fun, and to win the last 2 races in the trucks and Xfinity, it's great.
We can't wait to see you out there next season here in the Mystic Racing League. And congratulations on tonight's win. Great performance out there. We'll see you next season, bud.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys soon.
All right, so you heard from Tyler Stevenson. That was the winner of the race. Now we're going to hear from second place. That was Colin Bollinger. Let's bring Colin. I think we can find him here. I'm not sure. Just 1 second. Where's Colin Bollinger? Colin Bollinger. I don't see him.
I don't see him. I don't see him in the Discord,
All right. Well, Colin Bollinger did a heck of a job, finished second tonight. Christian Barnes was your third place winner. So that means we're going to go ahead and hear from our fourth place finisher in the championship for tonight, and that was Adam Holston. We'll go ahead and bring him into the booth. Adam Holston, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yes, I do.
Well, man, before we get down to brass tacks here, just congratulations on an awesome season. Mr. Consistency is what we've been calling you really since the first third of the season, and you proved that out over the course of the final part of this 33 race schedule, a long, grueling schedule. And first of all, just thank you for just showing up every single week. And you don't have anything to hang your head about tonight, that is for sure. Let's talk about, though, kind of how this race matriculated and developed over the course of the evening. We saw you were never really able to get into the top 3, top 4. Where was the speed tonight? Was it an issue of speed or strategy? What kind of kept you behind those other guys for a large portion of the evening?
Well, it definitely felt like the short to mid runs, I didn't have much for them. And then the longer runs, I felt like I would reel them in a little bit, or more so closer to their pace. But then just had some unfortunate events when we actually got that long run, so I couldn't really do anything with it.
What were the unfortunate events?
Just a stack up on the restart there, I think at the start of the third stage, and just gave me rear end damage, and it didn't drive too well for that stint, and just I lost so much time from it.
Yeah, man, it was. We saw several of those stack ups on the restarts. A good bit of cautions tonight led to a lot of restarts, and man, you fought through it. You fought through adversity. You never quite gave up. You still had a solid finish tonight, finishing in the 11th position. I know it's not what you wanted, but talk to us about really kind of what was your best moment in memory over the course of this 33 race season.
Well, I just really say racing with all the guys, making new friends and just having a good time. Really, I try to race for fun. I don't try to take it too seriously, so that's the main goal, is just have fun.
Man, love that attitude. Before we let you go celebrate just being part of that Final Four for the championship, you got any shout outs for any of the folks watching at home?
Yeah, I'll shout out 5 Star for sticking it out through the season. It's a good team. I really enjoyed it with them. Shout out Ricky LaFleur for rooting me on all season.
Ricky's a troll in the chat. He's a menace.
Yeah, he can get wild sometimes.
We love him. We love him, though.
I'll shout out Black Diamond Designs for the paint scheme. Shout out Holston Concrete and Workboat Life for sponsoring me throughout the season. And I'll shout out them New York Giants beating the Eagles right now.
Nice. I know Johnny's not going to be happy to hear that in the production booth. He's probably going to cut your mic as you speak. But, man, we appreciate you. It's been an awesome, awesome season. We can't wait to see you back, man. Have a great off season, and congratulations.
Thank you. It's good to see you
Yes,
all.
sir. You as well. All right, so that was your 4th place finisher in the championship. Chris, I believe next we have Evan Janik. I'm going to go ahead and drag him in and turn it over to you. Oh, I thought I was going to drag him in. Give me a second here.
I've been looking for him, and I can't find him in the Discord, Ellis.
Interesting. I'm not sure Mr. Janik might have, his feelings might have been hurt for some reason. I'm not sure if there was a little heat at the end of the race or a little bit of tension, but we don't have Evan Janik. That is okay. But we do have Jacob Cochran, who is the runner-up tonight. We'll go ahead and bring him in. Chris, I'll turn it over to you.
Jacob Cochran, our 2nd place in points. This is the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell us right here, Jay. First off, before we get into your night tonight, man, a great run in the playoffs, a great season for you as well. We talked about how you were the favorite in these playoffs. You definitely had the best average finish amongst all the playoff drivers coming into tonight. 3 wins in the playoffs, a great season altogether. A lot of wins on different tracks. Tell us about your night tonight. It seemed like right there at the end, you decided to go a little bit different route than Christian Barnes on the strategy there. Did you feel like maybe that was your best shot to possibly be able to jump Barnes and grab the championship?
Yeah. I mean that what I felt like was the best. I was struggled on the long run the whole race. Just couldn't get it. Couldn't get what I wanted out of the right front. So I felt like that was the best move. I just didn't really. I didn't expect it to fall off as quick as it did, but there's no way that I could have been in contention the other route. So, it's just one of those deals where you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But that was in my mind, that was my only option at that point.
You definitely gave it a valiant effort and definitely kept it entertaining for us. We were watching your progress right there in that final stint. You're normally so great at saving tires. We talk about it almost every single week that we see you out here, that you're one of the best at conserving tires, especially on these intermediate tracks. What was the challenge tonight with that?
I don't know. I think it was my line entering corners and then just not backing the corners up enough. And it was just I don't know, just struggled. When I really focused on tire saving, I was really off pace. I think kind of second stage or something, I was really trying to save, and went back to like 10th, 11th, and it just, I don't know. I just couldn't figure it out. Miami is not my track, so it is what it is.
It's definitely a different beast, that's for sure. But hey, you had an amazing season, kept it entertaining for us all night, and gave it a valiant effort. So great job all season. Before we let you go celebrate, an awesome playoff run right here, do you have any shout outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah. First off, want to shout out Morgan Cook. He was my spotter tonight, and he's actually the one that came up with the strategy. Couldn't have done it without him. He was a huge help tonight. Want to shout out my team, Aaron SB Racing, and Aaron always is good at supporting and helping, and couldn't have done it without him this year. We were talking about it earlier. It sucks to finish second, but at the end of the day, it just kind of proves to the problem of what this system produces. It is what it is. The playoffs are the playoffs, but you got a guy that has won 7 races all season long. 3 out of the 7 playoff races he's won. You go down the stat line and you see where we rank, and it comes down to 1 race and 1 night. So that's the playoffs. But it just sucks. Gotta get on and move on.
Definitely understand the frustration, but man, you had one heck of a season. Like you said, 7 wins. Nothing to be nothing to be disappointed about for sure. Gave it a valiant effort tonight, and great season altogether. Second place in points, that's Jacob Cochran. Great run out there, man. Congratulations. We'll see you next season.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
All right, that was second in points. That means it's time for our virtual championship trophy presentation from Sofa News and Fall Creek Plumbing. We're going to go ahead and bring in Christian Barnes and League Commissioner Brandon Willard. Give us a second to do that. Christian Barnes and Brandon Willard, welcome to the booth here for the championship finale. Christian, you are season champion, and it's been a bountiful week for you, not only winning the championship here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, but also winning it last night, the Black Diamond Designs Truck Series. Brandon, I'll go ahead and turn this over to you for your presentation to the league champion.
Hey, Christian. On behalf of Mystic Racing League and all of our wonderful partners, Fall Creek Plumbing, they've done such a great job supporting our second-tier NASCAR National Series this year. And Slingshot TV, they've done such a good job giving us a platform to showcase our wonderful drivers like yourself. I know it seemed just like 24 hours we were meeting as you were crowned the third straight Truck Series champion. And tonight you make history once again, becoming the first and to this date only driver to win a championship in all three of our NASCAR Premier Series in Mystic Racing League history. And for that, I want to congratulate you. And like I said, we're so proud of you. You've represented the league very well throughout the years, starting back in 2022. And like I said, you have just grown ever since, and this is well deserved.
Thank you, man. This is probably the first time that I've been on the verge of tears, honestly. I've been waiting for this one so long, and we joked about it constantly of me not getting this one over and over, and man, it's just something else. Honestly, I'm just at a loss for words, really.
Well, Christian. Like I said, we're all proud of you. You've definitely represented the league and the partners very well. Couldn't be more happy for you. And not just you, but our championship 4 drivers, Evan Janik, Jacob Cochran, and Adam Holston. They did such a fine job. Christian, we're going to get a big old trophy for you. We're going to get it shipped to you. Obviously, you got one from last night. I hope you got room on your dresser. You're going to have to make some room because you got 2 coming your way now, so that's definitely a good problem to have. And I know your job is not done this week yet. You still got one more to chase tomorrow night. So from us at Mystic Racing League, we wish you the best of luck in that one as well.
Thank you so much, man. Really, thank you.
All right, Christian, we'll let you go, and have a good night. Brandon, stick around for just a second. All right, Brandon Willard, Commissioner and President here of Mystic Racing League. Man, we want to take a second to thank you for everything you have done this season. It does seem like just yesterday that we were talking about broadcasting this series for the first time, and 33 races was a big commitment for us. We had never done a season that long, but I have to say I have enjoyed every single minute of it. The racing has just improved from week to week, and it's been amazing to watch your drivers kind of progress. And you run a tight ship, but it might be the most organized and efficient league I think I've seen in terms of everything you guys do from week to week. So from the bottom of our hearts, from the Slingshot TV family, from Chris, Johnny, myself, and the rest of our team, we're grateful that you guys chose us. And I know we're looking forward to working with you in future seasons on some future series. Talk to us a little bit about what you've got in store, not only for tomorrow night for the Octane Outlaws Cup Series, but what fans watching at home can look forward to coming up in the future.
Well, first off, I do really appreciate the nice words. We feel the same way about you guys, and obviously making the change to iRacing late of last year was a big step for us. We knew we had our work cut out for us, and we've had our work cut out for us all season long. We've had plenty of great moments, but also plenty of obstacles that we've had to jump throughout the season. And like I said last night, and I'll kind of echo it, our drivers really make the cake for us over here in the league. They do such a great job, and they voice their opinions sometimes, some louder than others, respectfully, but we do the absolute best we can to get them what they want, what they ask for, and to make sure everything is as fair as possible. And I know it's a tough ship, but when we have great partners and obviously great broadcasts and great drivers, we try to put all the pieces together just to make everything feel at home and have fun. And like I said, Christian's a great example because he came to the league in 2022. Obviously nobody knew who he was, and he's a real quiet kid. He's not as quiet anymore, but we love him to death. And we're so happy he chose to be with us, and we love all of our drivers respectfully, and we're so happy they chose to be with us. And like you said, to answer part 2 of your question, we're really excited for next year. We got a lot of things in store. We've done announced basically everything from this year's returning. Obviously the trucks, Xfinity and Cup, with some new sponsorships. We got everything sponsored again for next year, which is real exciting. We plan to add some lower level series into the mix that we didn't have for this year, which that will be announced soon. And some short track stuff. Well, we got some big short track events that we'll have scattered throughout the year. Obviously, we done release some late model stock, super late model big events, which will be one-off events. They'll be pay to enter, but they're going to have big money involved as well. We didn't want to have any big money events this year just because this is our first year. We want to kind of focus on the league itself and the series and the point series. But next year, we're going to turn it up a notch, and we're going to, I don't know the phrase I'm looking for, but we're going to give the people what they want and make it a little bit more exciting and have you guys back involved and our partners that we had this year. We're going to get everybody back involved, and I'm really excited. Obviously, we're going to tweak some things and move some pieces around, but I couldn't be more prouder than the group we have now. I'm tickled to death.
Man, you did a great job. I know we've enjoyed calling these races here every single week it doesn't feel like it's been 8 or 9 months, but it has, and we can't wait to get back to the grind, man. We're going to let you go celebrate with your drivers and the champion Christian Barnes, and hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris, Johnny, it's over. It's 33 races, and it came down to this one championship finale tonight. Christian Barnes surprised a lot of people by taking the championship in the fashion that he did. You just heard it from Brandon Willard. He's kind of a quiet guy. We talked about it in that pre-race package. He doesn't say much, but he lets the lap times speak for themselves, and he did that tonight. And it's what led him to take home that first Fall Creek Plumbing National Series championship. When you think back over the course of the season, guys, what memory sticks with you the most and comes to mind when you think about iconic moments that we've seen this season in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series? Johnny, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, man, it's hard to get over the flip at Chicago's Great North. One of the first races I was involved with, and man, you would never think that would happen, but yeah, hey, super exciting. And then the end of that race, last lap, door banging and a little bit of a wreck to decide to finish. That was a great one.
Chris, how about you?
I would say for me, it's kind of more recent, so because it's very, very fresh. But I think back to the Talladega race. Unfortunately, Ellis, you were under the weather, wasn't able to be there for that race. But watching Christian Barnes win that race and punch his ticket into this race right here, that's the race that got him, in the championship 4. And watching the way in which he did it and the manner in which he did it, that was just an impressive performance. And who's to say that he wouldn't have made it anyway? But it was just so exciting to watching him hold onto that thing off of turn 4 sideways and get to the line first. That one definitely comes to mind for me.
Man, we've had so many close finishes this season. I'm going to play the company line here, and then I think probably 10 races where it came down to the last lap in the last corner. Were just so exciting, and including this one. including this one. And that's, you got a lot of opportunities for those over the course of 33 races, but we've seen so many of them. And with that being said, let's look at where everyone finished tonight. You can see the finishing order on top of the screen right now. Tyler Stevenson, Colin Bollinger, they door banged and bumper banged all the way to the line through the final corner. And Christian Barnes, your champion, finishes third tonight. Tommy Ryan, man, shout out to the 99 for just sticking through it and recovering from an early race mishap and having one of the fastest cars on the track in the final 20 laps or so. Trevor Hunt, newcomer to MRL as well, finishes 6th position. Jacob Cochran, I should say, Hunt finished, is that 5th or 6th? Yeah,
he finished
5th.
it.
And Jacob Cochran finished 6th. Evan Janik, 7th. Justin Hendry, newcomer, finishes 8th in that number 85. Shout out to him. We said his name and he appeared and he finished in 8th tonight. Jeff Ryan finishes 9th in that 28. Great run from him and Tommy, both finishing, the Ryan family in the top 10, with Derek Jewett, who just missed out on the Final Four last week at Martinsville, finishes 10th.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at the next 10 right here, starting in the 11th spot. One of our championship drivers, Adam Holston. Amazing season for Adam, picking up a couple wins on the season, finding himself here in the championship race after that win at Martinsville. He's going to finish 11th. Aaron Espy, saw him in trouble early in the race. He's going to finish in 12th position, one lap down. Alex Pollock in the 13th position. In 14th, we've got Brad T. Nelson. 15th, Michael Wade in that pink machine. Great run for Michael tonight. Stephen Gill is going to finish in 16th. He was a mainstay all season here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, as was these next two competitors right here. Reggie Kime finishing in 17th, as well as Gavin Henson finishing in 18th. Gavin Henson, we thought he was going to get his win this season, but hopefully he'll be back next season to try to pick up that first win. Keith Dwinell is going to finish in the 19th spot, and Caleb Hunt is going to round out the top 20 tonight.
Harold Tucker had trouble early, finishes 21st. Rayshawn Winkfield, one of the fastest cars on the track all night long, ran into trouble as well, finishes 22nd. Seth Heyman, 23rd, and Zach White, one of the early casualties, finishes 24th. And folks, fans watching at home, whether you're watching live, whether you watched live over the course of the season, whether you're watching the replay right now, cannot thank you enough for tuning in. Chris, Johnny, I think that the live chat tonight was the wildest, most active chat that we've seen in Slingshot Racing TV for the 2+ years that we've been doing this. So shout out to all the fans at home. Johnny, I want to thank you, man. You mentioned coming on, halfway through the season as our producer and kind of relieving some of the pressure on Chris and I. And man, that has added so much to this production. We've still got things that, we can learn, but you have made our job 1,000 times easier, and we could not do it without you and those Whiplash sim cams. And if you're wondering about the Whiplash sim cams, getting great camera shots for your replays and screenshots, you can find that link in the YouTube video description. Yeah, Johnny, just shout out to you from the bottom of our hearts for all the work that you do and put into these broadcasts. Folks at home don't see a lot of the stuff that goes on in the background, and we all do stuff in the background, but so much of what happens for production relies on you, and we cannot thank you enough. Also, Chris Pierce and Pierce Designs and Graphics for all of the graphics that you see showing the standings and the little widgets we have on screen for speeds and corner trackers and battle boxes and all that. It takes a village to really make all of this possible, and it's been a great season. I know we're all looking forward to taking a minor break, but we're going to be picking up with action. We'll be doing some live streaming in NASCAR 25 throughout the coming weeks. We'll also have still plenty of Slingshot Racing League races, including the ones coming up at Monday for the UD Award Series. We're going to Las Vegas on Monday. Chris and I will be racing in that. Johnny, you and Justin Wilson will be calling that from the Slingshot booth. I believe, does the stand-up have a off week, it looks like? Yep. Potentially. Yeah, stand-up, our Wednesday night series with Sky and Sal and Kobe in the booth has a week off, but they return 2 weeks to Darlington. That's going to be a wild one. And then in the meantime, we've got Portland, the road course, the UD Award Series headed there 2 weeks from this past Wednesday. So lots of action going on. Not a dull moment. This series might be done, but there's plenty of live racing action, plenty of giveaways still to catch on Slingshot TV. So make sure if you haven't subscribed, you've hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing, folks. We mentioned Daytona, one of our most active chatters tonight, won the chat games, if you will, over the course of the evening. They take home the Juan Pablo Montoya diecast, no jet dryer included in that. And folks, we do giveaways nearly every single week, so don't miss out on those. If you didn't win it tonight, you can still win one in the future as you watch that leaderboard scroll across the bottom of the screen. Folks, I think we have said about all we can say tonight. It has been an amazing season, and it was an amazing championship finale here. We're going to turn it off for tonight, folks. Don't go anywhere. We got plenty of racing coming up the rest of the week. But for Mystic Racing League and the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, for Chris Smith, for Johnny Rapp, I'm Ellis Thomas and Slingshot TV. Folks, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll catch y'all next week.